or visit us online at healthsolutionssvg.com. You can also follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Health Solutions, where we are providing solutions in SVG with care.
I passed by a brethren the other day. If you see he plays rat and cockroach racing, mosquito fighting one another for come knee in your ears, and the amount of woodlice I see, I had to wonder if them been in the wood we know take and build the ark. I said, bye, call Flick.
For the eradication of pests, Flick is your answer. Before and after construction of your domestic and commercial buildings, Flick uses environmentally safe chemicals. And keep washrooms fresh with the Aroma Odor Control and the FemCare Sanitary Disposal Systems. Call Flick Pest Control today at 457-1857 or click www.flickpestcontrol.com.
Carlisle in the vibe, CTVIEW on the rise. Top hosting Vinci, got the crowd hypnotized. Radio waves, he's the king, no surprise. Media master, see the gleam in his eyes. And Vincent feeling alive, all the islands tuned in. Carlisle taking the lead with that winning grin. Broadcasting the heat, let the party begin. Dance all kingpin, let the group sink in. CTVIEW rocking the beat.
So with prayer comes faith. With faith comes confidence. With confidence comes action. Action with perseverance and strength. We try our best to try our best. Asking the Almighty Father to help with the rest. The Lord help me to dwell in the awareness of your goodness and mercy each day. May I be a vessel of your love to others. Open my eyes to recognize your leading in every circumstance and teach me to follow after you in the name of Jesus. Good morning once again. Good morning. Get well wishes, Sir McIntosh, Eddie B. Freitas, Granville Straker, Leroy Maureen, and George, Father Jonathan Weeks. Good morning. And condolences once again goes out to the family of Godfrey Fillmore, Dublin. Yes. Formerly of Ken Isles Orchestra, formerly of Exodus, formerly of Touch. Not to mention the school band with the Mackey Boys. Yeah.
From sunrise to the darkest night, CTVIEW keeps it tight, pure delight.
And we're getting to the big ups. The big ups. Kenny with the starlet. Mrs. Bashi Alexander, Amy Edwards, good morning, Mrs. Edwards, how are you? Miss Edwards, good morning, how are you? Captain Keith Joseph, good morning, how are you? Merle Andrews, Veronica, good morning. Miss Curly Curls, Mrs. Hazel, Tar Girl, and Betty, good morning. Betty Charlemagne and her son in New Jersey, good morning. Faustina, good morning. Lavon, good morning. Brian, yeah. The S2 Brian, yeah. Run into Brian this morning. Good morning again to you, Brian. Yeah. Kirk Bailey, Ricky from Pro Auto Rentals. Huckabee, good morning. Nurse Wesley, good morning. Angus Edwards, yeah man. Cleon Young, Ellie Smith, Babs Roy Clark, Wayne Hazel, Messina Wallace, Kirk Bailey, Melville Jack, Nadine, good morning. Winston Jambons Young, Eddie Parsons, Tanya Christopher, Irie Hanaway, Annie Christopher, Marcus Martin, Jade, Wade Jackson, Senator Frederick, good morning. Fredericks, the massive and crew Fredericks. Tan Commission, good morning to you. Mr. Keith Miller from Glen, Cousin Carlos, Guy Lowe, Ivan DuPont, aka Kempes, Shari, Cipriani Youngblood, Uncle Ian Malicious, Barry, Caden, Nev, Kevon, Dougie. Elvis from Baltimore. Captain Pincham, good morning, good morning. Mrs. Alexis, good morning once to you too, once again. Donna in New York City, good morning. Uncle Fabi, good morning. Journey, good morning. Vernon, Mrs. Alexander, good morning to you.
From sunrise to the darkest night, CTVIEW keeps it tight, pure delight.
Huggy from the East. Trevor. NDP Boots, Shepherd family from Kittel's Beach. Mr. Lewis and the crew at CNR Enterprises. For Trina and Rihanna and the little one. Yes. Good morning. Lance and the crew and Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. Good morning. Ruti. Good morning, Ruti. Rana, Raja, Beverly, Sade, Pascal, Rena, Mrs. T. Massive and crew at Randy's Drinks Depot. This is Cambridge Jamal General Eve Alton, Shibi, Sturdy, Ray, PT, Woody, Trevor, Slimtastic, Wilfred Brown, Nathan, Skello, Maggie, Slimtastic, Marty, Joanna, Miss D, Mrs. D, Indy, Aisha, Taiwan, Gregory, Emmanuel, Sudley, good morning. Glory, good morning. Diggity dum, dum. Shabaza, Angel Monet, good morning. Snap Soul, good morning. Nairon, Ronna Williams, yes, good morning. Mrs. Bush from Layu, good morning. Calico Massive and crew, including V, Inspector Gadget, Cousin Pat. Yes. CTVIEW Saturday show is brought to you with the kind compliments of the beauty shop located in Middle Street opposite Third World. We do everything about hair. You name it, we do it. Fixing of locks, interlocking of locks, knotless braids, hair maintenance, healthy locks cut, children's braiding, dry curl, jerry curl, textured curl, men and women haircut, relaxers, and much more. We also carry makeup and body care, body cream, hair products, necklace, earrings, yes. Finishing the look, bringing the inner beauty on the outside. The beauty shop located Lower Middle Street, 529-8065. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Express Data Systems. Express Data Systems are located Lower Kingston Park. For all your computer needs, especially for your HP printers, your HP computers, and special HP Office Jet Pro 7740 white format all-in-one printer, scanner, copier, and fax machine. You're telling me you heard about it in CTVIEW Saturday show, and you get a discount. 456-1128. Express Data Systems terms and conditions apply. 456-1128. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Check them out also for the HP i5 computer with 4 gigs of RAM and a 500 gigabyte hard drive for only $495. Express Data Systems, terms and conditions apply. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Flick Pest Control. Remember, one flick and they're gone. You got ants in your sugar pan, you got wood lights in your pocket, give Flick a call, 457-1857. Remember, one flick and they're gone. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale, located Upper Middle Street, with deliveries on Wednesdays and Saturdays on the leeward side, Tuesdays and Thursdays on the windward side. Check them out for mattresses, for pillows, for foam for your Morris chair. 456-2814 is the number to call. Check them out also for Three Horses Malt, for Coca-Cola, for Sprite, for Ginseng Up, Cool Kids, Turbo, Fruta, potatoes and onions, Pediax, Solo, Mountain Dew, and more. 456-2814. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Jamar General. Jamar General. Best prices guaranteed, Jamar General, for your UPVC windows if you're building or renovating. Check them out also for your PVC pipe and your PVC pipe accessories. 457-2725 is the number to call. Also check them out for your building electrical needs, and remember, with proof of purchase of matching quality products, we will match your price and give you a further 5% off. 457-2725 is the number to call. Best prices guaranteed, Jamar General. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of CNR Enterprises. CNR Enterprises is located second floor of the CNR building. Check them out for orthopedically manufactured mattresses, for proper posture, a good night's rest, mattresses made similar to the ones made by Florida Bedding. And tell them, of course, you heard about it right here in CTVIEW Saturday Show, and you get a discount, 532-9372 for further details. Also check out CNR Enterprises, for, your coffee. Check them out, for your quick, your hot chocolate. Check them out for wholesale and retail and cereals, your cornflakes, your almond cereals. Check them out for almond milk, for silk. Check them out for Insure. Insure, best prices guaranteed. 532-9372 is the number to call. CNR Enterprises, second floor of the CNR building, opposite the Customs building. Upper Bay Street, Kingstown. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Nai's International Logistics, Shipping, Packaging, and Moving. Nai's International. New York City 347-500-9142, Boston 617-594-2283, or right here in SBG 784-455-5600. When you can't wait on the bar, when you need it now, when you don't want your family and friends to know your business, ship with Naive. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here in CTVIEW Saturday Show. Tell them, Carl, says thank you. All right, somebody says, Rail and Gertie from Rockies is celebrating, I guess, a birthday tomorrow. Yeah. A birthday tomorrow. Greetings comes from his wife Angela and the entire family is celebrating tomorrow.
From sunrise to the darkest night, CTVIEW keeps it tight, pure delight. Carla's voice, shining bright. In St. Vincent, he's the light. Ooh yeah, CTVIEW rocking the beat. Carla's voice can't be beat. Turn it up, feel the heat. Vincy vibes, move your feet. Ooh yeah.
All right, time for the fire. Leon Big Samuel, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Carl. Good morning to my brother. Good morning. And as I would say, it's a pleasure to come here week after week, Carl, to do my duet and to be in the company, Carl. Carl, you're a true friend, Carl. You're a true friend. So I'm here to my do Del. Good morning to you, Douglas, wherever you are, Douglas. My senior, I call it senior. Good morning to you, my brother. Good morning. And good morning to the heavy hitters, who I believe will be joining us very soon. And let me use the opportunity to hail up one or two, a few, I should say, of the people them who normally listen to us on a weekly basis. So I begin with, because I almost forget last week, with King Council, King Duggan. Good morning to you, my brother. And you are a hero in this country, and I cannot forget your colleague, who are in the same category, King Council John. Good morning to you, my King Council. Thanks, happy to have you as my lawyer, and good morning. The Almighty Creator put us together, and I want to use the opportunity one time to hear what your son, Akin John, decent young man, along with Jomo Thomas, who is also one of our council. Good morning to you guys. Specs, good morning to you, Specs Country. You are a true friend, Specs. That's all I will say, you are a true friend. And good morning to my next cousin, um, catches nice. Don't be my brother. King's Lane, good to you, my brother. I'm back responsibility in my life. Silver. Good morning to you, Margaret London, and good morning to you guys. Good morning to Lambert. Come. Good morning, my brother. I know you're listening. I believe this morning you all will love this program here this morning. And ladies, I ever get you. As you say, that run go home and say, we say either come start or back and I'll start. Yes, we are here this morning. So good morning to you. We met up at the cross by the outside of the central police station. Good morning to you. Know who you are. The Rasta man with the shack. Good morning to you, my brother. I just when I'm in tongue and you all hear me up, I just try to much remember those special people in Richland Park, like Sullivan Munzi and Cardis. Good morning to you. There are some special people in Richland Park. The whole Richland Park. Passy, good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Good day to everybody. And how can I forget to say hey, good day to the greatest party, the NDP party. Good day to you guys and ladies. You all are so amazing. Have a wonderful day. And I hope that as I go through this program today, that you all will like what I am putting forward out there. Now, Carl. Oh, and King.
Don't forget my namesake, man. Don't forget my namesake.
I dog on this one, but I hail up.
Oh, okay.
I hail you first this morning because I don't want to forget again. I don't make sure hail up. I'm King Kong for dog man. Yeah. So but I remember King up in Kingston Park. Good day to you guys. Good day and Chef Tony.
Leslie.
Yeah. And down in Morocco, everybody just hold strong. Let me just hold strong. Let me get it.
Let me say good morning to Mr. Valentine in Puerto Rico as usual. Okay. He locked on send WhatsApp this morning.
Right. So Carl, this week was a very, very interesting week, and week after week, like it getting more and more interesting. I'm just going to just make mention of this to try to show persons that when I said what Sir James would have told me for the fact, and I saw a piece came out. But what is interesting is the individual who brought it to the fore, where Sir James would have said that he never lost the election by no roadblock. It wasn't roadblock, was the cause of him of bringing down his government. And he told me that. And I said to you, like I said to people, that when Sir James and this idiot, I could call him an idiot, went to Grenada, Sir James had it in his mind to give him the political knife down there. One was to give him the political knife. And I hope that you always know that I'm correct. because the article now is there now. I saw James is admitting. So James, but I know that you have always been. You wasn't no saint, but you was a good man. And what I love about it though is how the party that I support has embraced your daughter, Louise. And let me say this, Carl, if Bamali was alive and Bamali wanted was to find his African root, he could have done it. Because Mali, as you know, mother was a black woman, but his father was white. So too is Louise. Louise's grandmother was a black woman, but her father was a German. So Louise has African blood in her. And trust me, Carl, going forward, I see everything black in my eyes, Carl. I don't want to cancel. But if the idiot we have here want to get his offspring, he have to go to Europe. Europe is the way he have to go and find his. So I am proud to be a African. I'm not born there, but I am proud to be an African. And who don't want to be that, too bad for them. Carl, I think the other few clips they're going to start to load. Those that I sent you this morning, load them for me, please. Now, I continue to speak still because there are some interesting things that took place over the week, where we have the idiot son, the spoiled idiot, the idiot has a spoiled idiot son like him, speaking about he will left to get a couple more properties under his belt. Because and you could see the size of him, so I believe he wearing a very long belt. So he want more. Just like his idiot father. And you know what I mean? This are them who tell Vincentian what we are up against in this country, you know. And let me make this abundantly clear this now to a call. You see, when I come here on Saturday mornings, I come here to deal with politics. My segment of this program here is all about politics. This has nothing to do with Carl. Has nothing to do with Doggy. This is me Beggar Biggs, who is paying for segment, and it's all about politics. Straight down the middle, politics. And who don't like it, too bad for you all. So, you guys who are out there, I want to say good morning to you all, especially, not that you all, the rest of you are not doing a tremendous job, but I have to sing loud, small. Aaron Small. My brother, you are phenomenon. And hear what? This man was able to drive fear. This idiot was able to drive fear in Vincentian because his name used to be Carl. Don't call his name at all. So for me now, you were shocked, you were surprised I would not. I might slip something and mention his name. I mention a name I say, but I would prefer to call him idiot and a con man. Me and he born here, we born in St. Vincent, and we got the same rights according to the Constitution. But if he feel to himself that he want to champion minds, sorry, I will take you on, boss. I will take you on. Trust me. So you guys are doing a wonderful job. And let me use the opportunity to hail up Rasjan. I said it last week when I played the clip with Rasjan. I said Rasjan has, what the term I use again? Redeem himself. He has redeemed himself. And yes, it's a proof that Rasjan has redeemed himself, because whatever we had, where I used to be hitting him hard, I back off now. Because as I said again, he has redeemed himself. So good morning to you, Rasjan. And I'm talking about Rasjan from the low man's windward side up there. You know what I mean? So good morning. Good morning to you, Rasjan. And I see where persons is in your Rasjan. But Rasjan, I have always wanted to big you up, because so the way you spoke last week, and it's me who brought it out, it's me who brought the clip on here, and told persons you have redeemed yourself, because whatever it was, where me and you, and although you had to deal with Rabaka, Carl, I realized that Ras didn't realize who was trying to set him up, was trying to use him against me. So the reason why I used to go after him so hard, because you don't mess with Rebecca and we come at you easily. I will take your hand hard. So yes, Rasdan, I'm so proud they have redeemed yourself, and I listen to you and boom. Well done, job. That's the Rasdan I know. That's the Rasdan I want around me. Because because this election is a war. It's a war. Who don't want to see it as that? It is a war. We have to fight this election. And people like yourself and Aaron, and there's a couple other guys off on the windward side up there. There's one who has some color in his beard and so, and another guy. Man, you all are doing well, trust me. So when I hear persons like Candyman and Kingsley talking about being an influence, I don't want to have the influence on anybody. I just want to see the back of the idiot. Because if he wasn't an idiot, we would have had Joe Somal, just like how Dominica got into Joe Somal. $80 million that idiot had in his hand. 80 million. And where are we today? Dominica is getting ready to start to get Joe Somal power. So let me let you Candyman know something, because you said, me and me are number one, Jomo is number three, number two, and Rastan is number three. Who the idiot don't have no time for? But me not gonna time for the idiot neither too. But let me just hand something to Carl read it. And me never read it myself. I want Carl read it, and I wanted to see what is happening. Carl read the scroll. Yeah, the scroll and read. The scroll and read. I want Vincentian to hear. What is happening? They read that, Carl.
Which one?
I really holding that is there, because I don't want to hide nothing from Vincentian.
Hi, bigger bigs, please let me can help you.
You hear that?
Response, you can help me bigger big by getting you all wicked treacherous backside out the hell of the political power in St. Vincent again. Hi, bigger bigs. Please let us know how we can help you.
Please let us know.
For that suffering and pain Ralph Julian and the ULP has brought down on. You really coming to ask me this BS?
Exactly.
Man, time for that wicked European demon Ralph to go. Hi, bigger bigs. Please let us know how we can help you. Okay, and these are several. I'm looking to see if I can find a date. But okay, another one. Hi, bigger bigs. Please let us know how we can help you. Why the hell y'all just don't leave me alone? For I don't want nothing at all to do with idiot National Clung Ralph and Labour.
Yeah, that Carl, this transaction started something in August. These
August
things,
24th.
they start to come into me. So Carl, and this is what I want. Let you read it. I want people to hear how I intend to deal with. Nobody didn't know I get this. This came to me personally in my personal inbox. It's in box. Somebody didn't know about this, but I will expose it, because I do not play games. As I said, Carl, I don't play games, Carl. Carl, you see me come and tell my friend Carl, I don't play games, Carl. I can't play games. I can't play the games. The other one, this one again now is I get a phone call. So this one here, idiot, Candyman, and Kingsley talking about me not gonna influence. Hey, who call me? But the date is somebody. I don't want to even go to Google, because I'm going to look for that call from him. Reno, call me bigger bigs. So let me know that he's only going in St. Vincent and Grenadines. I discuss it. Some agree. I said no. I said I will meet. I'm first and foremost a businessman. And if Reno want to meet with me, I will meet with him. But when he was about to come to me, I understand he got an emergency, because the guy who was to bring him to show him where I am living, he had an emergency call. He had to flew back out of the country. Not too quick, not too long after he would have come, so we didn't get to meet. Okay. So I am willing and ready to meet with Reno if he come, because I'm first and foremost a businessman, and that is what Ralph. And that's what the idiot don't want. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, my brother, So you all hold on to this man and lick him. If you ever put him on the ground and wipe your foot out in his face, just don't give him no bone to hold on to. Don't give him the bone. Don't call his name. Call him an idiot and wipe all the foot out in his face because we have to take him on. We have to take him on.
About the honey badger, pound for pound, one of the toughest fighters out there. Even with a leopard's jaws clamped around its throat, the honey badger.
Yes, I just want people to hear who I am.
Might just be the fiercest animal on the African plains. We're talking about the honey badger, pound for pound, one of the toughest fighters out there. Even with a leopard's jaws clamped around its throat, the honey badger shrugs it off and walks away like nothing happened. It's either in a fight, recovering from a fight, or looking for the next one. And believe it or not, this creature is practically immune to venom. Cobra, scorpion, to the honey badger, that's just lunch. One day, a young leopard thought it had found an easy meal, but it quickly discovered that this thing's skin is tough as rubber, and underneath, pure muscle. The leopard tried everything, even dragged it home for a late-night snack. After hours of biting, clawing, and wrestling, the honey badger, still calm, still standing. Frustrated, the leopard called in backup. 3 leopards teamed up and finally brought it down. But the honey badger wasn't done yet. It fought back even harder and walked away without a scratch. Across the African savanna, this little tank has gone head-to-head with nearly every predator out there. Even African wild dogs, known for tearing prey apart in packs, don't know what to do with it. The truth is, this fierce little honey badger plays by its own rules. Small, savage, and fearless, it's a true wild warrior. Little people might just be the fiercest.
Yes, Carl. And the reason for this people, and I'm gonna deliberate in those speak because I realize some persons Carl are mad because they don't speak when the clips are playing, because they really want to hear the clips them too. So I will stay quiet and comment after the clip is finished. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So that clip, Carl, with that honey badger. Trust me, Carl. That is how life is. And any one of you out there who believe within the NDP and believe you all have to get up and fight like that honey badger. That is how it is. So to survive in this environment that has been created by the idiot, it's not going to be easy. We have to make up our mind to get up and fight. Because here it is, Carl, when this election is over, and any one of you play stupid or make mistake and say I'll make mistake and do go out and vote this idiot out of office, I'll leave me alone because nobody going to get me to go in a Hudson, no way, to go campaign and say me go hold protest. No, sorry. We must get this idiot out of office. This idiot ain't got nothing over we now. We are all Vincentian. The Constitution protect all of us. And as long as you're here, you overstep your bound, you stay within your crease, he can't do one thing. It's a toothless dog. That is what it is. A toothless dog, he can't do nothing. If you don't call his name, you give him strength to tear into you, and he will tear to pieces because that is what he will love to do right now. But let me let him know. I am the honey badger. I don't back down. I will take you on. Go again, Carl. I want to know.
I wanted to pick up your, but my father told me when I was growing up, I wanted to pick up your book because I don't want you to come and walk land like me. And you had an entire generation and generations where our parents told us to become doctors, lawyers, because in their minds, social mobility meant anything outside of agriculture. So now we are speaking about food sovereignty and the active participation of citizens in producing food. The discussion has now gone full circle. And now that the discussion has gone full circle, for those parents who are alive, and for current parents, I need to tell my son Saj that agriculture is equally as good a job when you speak about social stratification, about social mobility, as being an engineer and being a doctor.
Yes. So Carl, let me expand now. Carl, You notice he said he is going to tell him that the benefits of agriculture, but he never heard what he said that he's going to tell him that he should go into agriculture though. And to show that he is preparing his son away from agriculture. You know how he was educated and became, and I said, I'm happy for the young man. He came fourth in common entrance, happy for it. But you know where he went? To an elite school, Carl, that has to pay over 2,000 and something a month. Sorry, per term to go there. How much farmer child could afford them kind of money there to go to an elite school? I tell you, when these people speak, you know, they must speak and know that not everybody who love to drink rum, as if his idiot leader say, he doesn't have to drink rum when election time. So I could bet you right now, no election time, he drinking rum now, he can get the election to win. But I don't drink rum at all, no matter what time of the year. I don't drink, period. I don't want no kind of alcohol. Give me a coconut water if you want to give me something. I go do that. That's enough for me. So when I hear these people, this man, one of this man leader in the party would have told them, all in the movie, agriculture is the thing of the past. Carl, person like Glenn Stewart, my brother who died and gone, Wilbert Samuel, and Noble Davis, and all of these other guys, I tell you, you go up in the same idiot constituency up there, have some big farmers up there, who make serious millions off of farming. But because they know, this is a group of people who know that farming is a form of people being independent. What they did, they kill it. And now he come in and tell him about Saj and Saj. Saj, let me let you know this now, boss. I know you're not going to let Saj go walk no land. Because that was it. You won't have been make places with emphasis. And Saj going to one of the most elite schools in the country that cost over $2,000 and something per term. When I talk, I must realize, you know, is the honey Bajal is speaking to here. As I said again, I will take on any one of you, because all of you want me for this man, this idiot for Sumi. I'm not gonna call the idiot name, because that is my new name for him from now, Kingsley. He is an idiot. And all is a proof to show that he's an idiot. And who think, okay, then that I might be too blunt, I don't care. Who don't like it, this is a politics. This segment of this program here, that Carl and don't allow me, is straight politics. Me not joking. So Carl, that is what he's trying to bombard Vincentian with, to give them the impression that he came up agriculture. Man, the people them need to send you home. You have destroyed our future in this country, because when agriculture is booming, Vincentian is happy and got money. People will take a piece of stick and go and stand up in a tongue. Farmers, say my security. Man, when Carl, and let me say before I go, Carl, when I left secondary school, I walk out of secondary school, you know, and go and buy a brand new pickup from Mitsubishi, you know. Brand new. From what? Farming. Farming, me big. But my first pickup, my first vehicle I had was a car as a gift from my brother. The same Tuki that died. That has died. But the second vehicle was a brand new Mitsubishi pickup, 2235 was the number of it. Yellow. Yellow, because yellow is always my code. Always my code for Mitsubishi. Pretty until I bought it brand new. So because of the father supported me to get a security at the bank. Lend me son the money, he go pay it back, because he got his own banana field. And that is what farming was doing for people in this country. Them destroy it. So I'll go talk to me. Man, I'll go so. Drop the next clip again, my brother. This election is a war. And I intend to use the soldiers out there, Ras Jan and all the rest of them, and we go with it. Listen to this one.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous, because we're gonna talk about a freedom fighter, a political prisoner, a president, a global icon. He's praised for what he did, but what he didn't do, that's the part we need to talk about. Nelson Mandela was born Rolihlahla Mandela in 1918 in the Thembu royal household. But British colonialism didn't care about Black royalty. And by the time he came of age, South Africa had locked itself into apartheid, a violent system of white minority rule, where law, land, and life were all designed to crush Black people. And at first, Mandela believed in peaceful resistance. He co-founded the ANC Youth League. He organized boycotts, petitions, public protests. But all that changed after the Sharpeville massacre in 1960, when the police opened fire on unarmed protesters and ended up killing 69 people. That day turned him. He co-founded Umkhonto Sizwe, which was the armed wing of the ANC. He called it a last resort, but let's be clear. When a government builds laws to kill you, breaking those laws becomes survival. In 1962, the state arrested him. They tried him for sabotage and sentenced him to life in prison. And that's where they tried to bury him. Mandela spent 27 years in prison, most of them on Robben Island. But here's the thing, even in silence, his legend grew louder. His face was banned from newspapers. His name couldn't even be printed. But the world started watching. He became more than a man. He became a symbol, a ghost that they couldn't kill. And when he walked out of prison in 1990, he wasn't just a political figure. He was the embodiment of the fight for liberation. And the country was one match away from civil war. So Mandela made a choice that would define the next generation. He chose negotiation over revenge. He sat across from the same government that jailed and tortured his people and tried to kill him. He shook hands with F.W. de Klerk. He pushed for democracy and unity. And in 1994, South Africa held its first multiracial elections. Mandela became president. But here's where the myth starts to crack. Because while the world celebrated, the people on the ground started asking, did we win the vote or did we just get played? Mandela's government created the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where perpetrators of apartheid were allowed to confess in exchange for amnesty. No trials, no prison time, no land returned, no wealth redistributed. And for those who buried loved ones or lost entire communities, it felt like closure for the state, not justice for the people. And behind the scenes, white economic power never left. Mandela made it clear to Western investors that South Africa would always remain business-friendly or investor-friendly. He didn't nationalize mines. He didn't push for land seizures. He left apartheid's economic foundation standing. The rich stayed rich, the poor stayed poor, and the global markets loved it. The system didn't collapse, it rebranded. Meanwhile, the radicals got erased. Please forgive me if I butcher these names, I'm really trying. Steve Biko, Chris Hani, Robert Sobukwe, those were voices that wanted revolution, not reform. Voices that weren't safe for global press releases or donor dinners. Mandela became the perfect package. Not too angry, not too radical, just enough resistance to be historic, enough restraint to keep capital comfortable. And don't forget, the U.S. didn't take Mandela off their terrorist watch list until 2008. And then there's Winnie Madikizela Mandela. She wasn't just his wife. She was the movement while he was locked away. She was banned, harassed, tortured. She spent 18 months in solitary. She raised their children under siege, and she never stopped resisting. But when Mandela was freed, he didn't come back to Winnie. He came back to diplomacy, and she didn't fit the new narrative. She was too bold, too radical, too unwilling to forgive a system that never apologized. And in 1992, without warning her, Mandela publicly announced their separation. She found out with the rest of the country. Their divorce was finalized in 1996. Many believe that ANC leadership and Western advisors pushed him to cut ties, all to protect her image and international gain. She was dragged in the press, and he was praised with Nobel Peace Prizes. But here's the thing, Winnie didn't change. The world just what kind of Black resistance it was willing to reward. Good, he helped avert a civil war. He gave people across the globe a reason to hope. The bad, he compromised on land, on wealth, on full justice. He chose peace over transformation. The ugly is that his image was used to rewrite history, to bury the radicals, to erase the fact that freedom was offered, but ownership was never handed over. Nelson Mandela didn't fail, but he didn't finish. He opened the door, yes, but he didn't burn the house down. South Africa is still fighting for what it never got delivered. Land, wealth, reparations, dignity beyond democracy. And that's the truth. You can love the man, but still question the outcome. You can honor the symbol, but still call out the silence. We have to stop putting people on pedestals, because liberation without transformation, that's not justice. That's delay disguised as progress. I mean, y'all have been asking me to do this one. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous.
So I refuse, Carl, to put this idiot that they have running Simmons here at any pedestal, Carl. And they listen to that good. See, yes, Mandela might have done his part, half part of the way. But for me, the real people we should be pushing is Winnie. It's Winnie, that woman Winnie. So for me, when you hear people come with these unjust laws, I am willing to fight and kick them down, Mr. Idiot. I am not backing. I tell you already, this program here, let's see that I just give Dougie a little stipend for. I wouldn't even call it money, it's stipend. Because what Dougie have been doing with this radio station in Simmons and is what a far more. I wish I could have done more. But one of these days, there's only time. For me, when I get said, I don't concern who want to vex with me too bad. I don't care. You hear what? Land. He did not look back for the people, them land. And that's the reason why my son of the spirit, I call him my son of the spirit, Abraham Traore, is now telling them to leave his country and go. The land belongs to his people, them. You can't go and thief a man people them land and expect to hold on to it. People are mine. So how you could say that Mandela was this great hero?
Bigger.
Nobody listen to this, my brother.
Bigger. Listen.
Tell me.
Let me just jump in here for a little second. Get a little bit of history, right? In 1990, 91, when Mandela and Winnie Mandela make their first trip to New York, David Dinkins was the mayor of New York City, right? Mandela was in Manhattan City Hall addressing the city council, and he was talking peace. And Winnie Mandela was with David Dinkins' wife at the BAM Theater in Brooklyn, saying, if we can't get peace with our lands back and our minds back and our wealth back, then I will be the first one to go back to the bush to fight the guerrilla warfare.
And thank you very much.
And the Jews who bring him here to America to tell him, go to America, to Brooklyn, and announce that you ain't for war no more, you is for peace. Before we get the other couple of $1 million that we have for you. And from that day, when that was said, in the summer of 1990, Willie Mandela was a goner. So when you say, when he dissed her, because she stood with him for 20-something years while he in jail, she stood the test of time. And because she wanted for all the people of South Africa, Nelson Mandela had to get rid of her in order to get the rest of his money. He's a sellout.
Sellout. Thank you. That's it. He's a sellout, and that's the point I'm trying to make this morning. I tell you, I come for war now. It's war. So me can't sell out my children and future. No, sorry. Ralph, the idiot, have to leave us with our land. We bought it. And Doug, I want to say something last week, but I didn't say it last week. I would have said it before. But you don't want it. It did not even ask the price, Doug. I will sell for Doug. You would not even ask the price. I will sell those lands for Doug. But I will tell you one of these days when I see you face to face. But everything like that, those lands has a price. But I'm not gonna give it away. You could rest assured on that. It's a plenty money if they want it. Carl, next. I tell you, I'm here to. It's a battle because I don't have no fear for this demon, for this idiot that I have running this country here. Here another.
Bigger before you play the clip. Bigger.
My grass, John.
Christianity. They butchered his family.
No Rafjan come like me. You know what I mean? Rafjan come like me. Because remember, I never give up on this fight, you know. I never give up. I used to be my brother. Oh, my brother I love so much. Tell me. Mm-hmm.
I'm asking the question.
I hear you.
What's your position now with the case? Where is this? Still awaiting judgment?
The case, I could tell you, the date is getting closer, my brother. The judge is on holidays right now. So, and next week, September begin. So the case, court will be resumed about the 15th and next month. 15th, I could be wrong about the actual date, but 14, 15, 16 around the court will be resumed. And I believe we will get a call to come for her decision, okay? So don't worry, my brother. Let me get the opportunity right now to go to these scripts and deal with this demon here. I'm going to talk to you just now. Go ahead, Carl. But pay attention to the script, Hey, the kind of heroes that everybody is listening to. Listen to this one here.
Hunted his people like animals and called it progress.
Before Christianity,
they butchered his family, hunted his people like animals, and called it progress. So he became America's worst nightmare. They say revenge is a fool's game. But when Geronimo returned to his camp in 1851, he didn't see a game. He saw a massacre. His mother, his wife, and his 3 children slaughtered by the Mexican army. He buried them with his own hands. Then, he vowed to make the enemy feel the same terror his people had felt. For over 30 years, Geronimo became the ghost of the West. The warrior the U.S. Army could never kill. He could disappear into the desert and reappear miles away. He raided settlements, wiped out entire patrols, and left soldiers too terrified to sleep. They swore he had supernatural powers because nothing else could explain how he always escaped. The U.S. Army sent thousands of men to track him down. They called him a savage, a criminal, a terrorist, but he wasn't fighting for power. He wasn't fighting for gold. He was fighting because his people were being erased until 1886, when the army finally broke him. Starving, outnumbered, betrayed, he had no choice but to surrender. They paraded him like a trophy, forced him into captivity, made him shake hands with President Roosevelt like a circus act, but they never let him go home. He died a prisoner, far from his people. And America called it justice. They butchered his family, hunted his people like animals, and called it...
You see, these clips are here playing here. You pay attention. You hear that? He was sabotaged. Just like when Sir James was going to give this man the political knife. Sabotage. And then I said, when Major would have said, Bigger, you will get to run Braxa. And I said, I trust me. Thank you, Major. But I said to Major, not me. My son will do it. I sure Major didn't realize that I had a son who was going to fight so hard, Carl, to come out from university with his bachelor's, with honors. So when I told you, Carl, the time about his professor who would have wanted him to do pure maths, he's decided he's not going to do pure maths because he has a goal set to leave university with honors. You know what I mean? So he could have been. So if he want now, he could go back and do pure maths now. That guy is that good in maths. I tell you, I'm so proud of my children, Carl. So I'm telling you, I cannot watch my children future and go down just like that. So under this idiot, who want to allow it to go ahead? You all could go ahead. But I do not want my children to say one of these days my daddy was weak. No, they must remember me as a Rambo. Geronimo, I will take you all out. Take you all out, I tell you. When the next the car.
Working to make sure that NDP win back.
Hey, pa, my problem start.
Revolution to continue, They're not making sure they vote for NDP for the airport to continue, They're making sure that they work for NDP so that if NDP win, they will get what they want, like Bigger Bigs want to have a car. Remember what these people are working for.
Run all in three cups to one thing, Carl. Run all in 1 minute.
Win back for the
Run all the trail in 1 minute. But the people here, what me have to be undergo and face in this country from these people. Yeah, play them one by one.
From the pally here.
You hear again.
Want to be a politician. I tell him, consider another calling. Leave politics alone. This is where the NDP reached now. They want to rent a crowd. They're renting big 60 workers. Eh?
Laugh
They
after
rent
me.
a crowd they're looking for.
Laugh at me.
Huh? You see, when Big says that is politics, you know, I really say to myself, these fellas, why they don't look into the mirror and speak truthfully? Which government was in power when he got the permission to mine sand at Ravaka?
To mine my land,
Was
Ralph.
the Labour Party government?
Idiot, to mine my land. To mine my land. Carl, they could put it there because you know what I mean, you guys rumble and some kind of nonsense and that. And right now, people want to hear it. You know what I mean? Drop the next one now. Drop the next clip now. And here, you want to parade me through the streets of St. Vincent and Grenadines to laugh after me. So the police ain't come to do me that now. To parade me. I am not, according to the Constitution of St. Vincent and Grenadines, according to the Constitution of St. Vincent and Grenadines, I'm standing on my land. In my hands here. In my hands here. Arrest him. In my hands here. Yeah, idiot. The idiot Nero. Idiot Junior Nero. Arrest him. That one the guy me know. I see the guy with Candyman and Kingsley there. I tell him already, you know. This election for me is about a war. And who don't like it, I say it's only the NDP hierarchy who could come and stop me and say, Big, I don't like you will the guy, and I will respectfully back off. But I am not going to back down from these people. Vincent, I will take these people on. Look me going there now. They're parading me now. Kidnapping me now. I tell you, they want to do like journey move. Carl, so you arrest me? Me no going to sit down. Okay, I'm arrested. Drop, hear that? Drop the next step, Carl. I think people want.
Hello?
No,
Bigger?
my brother.
Could you imagine, Bigger, all of those other victims who were not as strong as you are, who would have perhaps taken the crumb that fell from the table, and who could have definitely made a difference if they had decided, let me be a bigger bigs, let me stand up for what is mine. You did not do anything that was illegal, Bigger. You stood up for what was yours. You had worked hard, labored in this vineyard for such a long time to acquire all of your assets. And now this man is beginning, he is now in power. So he's deciding, okay, I can use whatever power that I have as a government official to take this matter from bigger bigs to whatever bigger big want to think he has. I have the power to take it from him. And you decided bigger bigs, nah, you can't just take that like that. Other person would have done that in a bigger. A lot of other people would have said, okay, Ralph is prime minister, so let me succumb. Let me succumb. But you, Bigger, that's what I'm saying, you are a national hero. You stood up against this Goliath. This Goliath, who, well, he's not a Goliath, but he wants to claim that he is a Goliath. You stand up with him, with your liquor sling in your hand, and you know you're going to bring him down. Not like what his son is doing. Not to bring him down literally, but to bring him down in terms of let him recognize that he is just another man standing aside you. He's not anything else. He's just another man in a position, but he's standing aside you and you're not going to give in. You are standing your ground.
I love you so much, Odd. I think I love you so much, Odd. You will talk plain and straight. I think I love you so much, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. I can't back down. Sorry. I can't back down. Hey, wide again. Hey, wide now.
What does it take for Africans to be great? Do the people of those countries choose to be great? Till and when Africa truly is of a single mind, it will continue to be the fodder and the meal for the rest of the global average. I struggle to understand why I can land in Paris, get on a train and end up in Brussels, But if I want to move from Joburg to Gaborone, I must produce a passport. Who's the genius that came up with the scheme? You know, the Europeans are so quick to tell us that we can't bundle ourselves into a single block, but they've done it.
This is a small extract.
The European like idiot. The idiot we have running Finland. So tell me, me can't own Peter Abaka.
He challenges us.
Wrong with you. Boy, relax yourself here.
Not only is he telling you that bigger, but he is saying that a foreigner could occupy 58 acres of land and pay the government a policy $1,000 a month for 58 acres of land that he's mining. And we are supposed to stand and say, yes, master, that is true.
Exactly. Let me hear you repeat it now.
Nothing more than a demonstration of somebody else's opinion of you. Now, what is interesting is this. Notice the means of the enemy. When he is well aware that you are on the path to your greatness, he makes the noise to distract you. Therefore, if we want a better life for ourselves, we must demand of that power. And I often hear young people today say things like this. You know, it's time for young people to rise. It's time for the old people to move out of the way. It's time, it's time, it's time. Let me tell you, young people, there is no old person going anywhere. If you want that seat in that office, in that boardroom, in that chamber, in that ministry, you're going to have to fight for it because power isn't given, it's taken. And so the question as our continent rises...
given, it is taken. And you could drop the next clip now, Carl, and let me try to see me run wrong. Because I mean... The heavy hitters have to come, you know what I mean? Yep. In the back end down, Carl. You hear? But here, all these people here have a line up here. It's to set a tone for Vincent and to understand this morning. If it's one man not going to run, it's me bigger. Trust me. Because I don't have no fear at all for this idiot that they have running this country here. Here this one coming here now. Here this one.
Don't be scared. Don't be a coward. Go door to door, person to person, street by street, factory by factory, university by university, school by school. Talk to our people. Tell them that the economic freedom is coming in our lifetime. We want to see it with our naked eyes. A ground force is a fearless fighter. A ground force is a hard-working fighter. A ground force is a fighter who will never sleep without doing something for the EFF. When we leave here, we are going straight into the houses of our people. When we leave here, we are going to talk to our people.
I can the whole part of the bring out to the Vincent and we have to fight. We have to fight. And they could line up in next one now. I think the real thing coming in now. You go like this is the one that you might like.
Right, I get in the Chickabee.
Is it Chickabee? Yeah. Let me reach. The program done. Is the dog I want now? Is the dog? Is the dog I want? I'm just bringing the dog I want.
I want to tell you one thing.
Drop the dog. Drop the dog.
You see, we're not voting you will be again. Never. They want everything for themselves. Everything. They act like SPG is theirs. But SPG belongs to we. It's ours. People, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, I don't like moving. Every time they have all the big meeting. Only for big money they spending. Put them alone. While things in the country getting rough, poor people not making enough. I am appealing to every Vinci. Don't make Labour Party come.
Don't come by me. Don't come.
SVG getting too hard.
You will be out of your yard.
This government treating me too bad.
Run, you will be out of your yard.
Before the lack of work drive me mad.
Run, you will be out of your yard.
When the children cry, we just get real.
Run, you will be out of your yard.
How you run them? All
out of your yard.
I run them. All
out of your yard.
I run them.
Out of your yard.
Run your LP.
Out of your yard.
Run them.
Out of your yard.
Run them.
Out of your yard.
How you run them?
Out of your yard.
Run your LP.
Out of your yard.
Vinci people losing their mind. Things real rough. Things getting harder all the time. Harder. Poor people can't maintain their home. No. So many people struggling alone. Things in the country keep getting dread. We keep fighting for daily bread. Day after
After a year start the campaign, we can't take another 5 years again. Things in SVG getting too hard. Run you LP out of your yard. This government treated me too bad. Run you LP out of your yard. Before the lack of work drive me mad. Run you LP out of your yard. When the children cry, we just get real sad. Run you LP out of your yard. I want to run them out of your yard. Run them out of your yard. I want to run them out of your yard. Run the LP out of your yard. Run them out of your yard. I want to run them out of your yard. Yes, run them out of your yard. Run your LP out of your yard. Yes, we can't take this no more. But it's time for them to go. It's pressure. Run them, real pressure. He needs to expect it. Run them. I don't think well, the government just don't care.
NDP will have to suffer. You hear that? That's what I want, Vincent. All will have to die. You understand all I want? NDP must suffer. Not me. These who are to go down there. This is the last chance we got to make sure we get rid of these people. We have to go out and vote them out. We ain't backing down. And thanks for being there for me. You heavy eaters. All thanks for being a friend from since you get to know me. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, all of you. Love you all so much. Carl, I leave you now. Take care. That's what I do.
You know, we assume that Bigger Bigs is not suffering, but I know Bigger Bigs is suffering. That's not an easy thing what Bigger Bigs is going through.
You can hear it.
Especially Bigger Bigs is going through trauma after trauma. But that's why he remains my hero now, because he stands still despite what is happening to him. All of his assets, so to speak, has been put on hold. His income stream has dried up, all because of this particular government doing this particular vicious act against this one man who decides, I am going to stand on my ground. I am going to stand because I have a legal right to stand. But the government is still forcing him into a corner. As I said before, he is suffering. But my brother is suffering, but he is not allowing his plight to get the better of him. He is championing his cause. And we must continue to applaud Bigger Bigs.
All right, you got somebody on the line. Nice radio. Good morning,
yes. Good morning, gentlemen. To all everybody who is there, good morning, and good morning to Bigger Bigs.
Bigger Bigs stepped out there, but go ahead.
Yeah, I listened to some of those clips that Bigger Bigs is playing there, and trust me, I have 2 clips that I would really like you to play just as backup for that, because I've been asking for them to play, but time was not on Nice Radio yesterday. And these clips, I think, would help Bigger Bigs in his further struggle and will help Vincent Chance, because right now, in this government that we have some of these same people that the clip I'm going to send for you. We have a lot of these people within the government right now. But the first one I'm going to send for you, this is one to strengthen Bigger Bigs, because when you try to speak out and tell them how they are, how the people are, how the people are treating Vincent Chance, they turn back to look at you as you're the one who's doing that, and you're the one who's pushing forward. So I'm gonna send you the first clip. You would play that for me, and then the other one.
All right. What I would do is I would send it to Bigger Bigs. When you send the clip to me, I would send it to Bigger Bigs.
And let him play them for me, please. Okay, yeah. It's from somebody who you know properly. But when you hear it, I want you to hear it for yourself, and it's coming on my chat.
I won't be able to hear it today. I won't be able to hear it while I'm on air. These things I would have to vet them. Just can't take anything and put it on the air.
Okay, fine.
You understand?
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So what I tell you, I'll send it to Bigger Bigs. Yeah.
Well, it's just something from the great Malcolm X. Just that, but it's okay if you say that.
Yeah. No. It's just a matter of policy. We get checks and balances. All right. Yep.
You know, Carl, I watched this video from API, and I was wondering, I mean, all of our government agencies have so bought in that they are treating us just like voting cattle indeed. Now, the wharf that the government was building had a particular structural integrity issue. And so they have, I don't know if they have remedied this, But the API is supposed to be informing us. Well, if they say that it has been declutched, then the declutching has been addressed, and they are now at this stage in the development of the wharf where they can continue. But instead of doing that, all we have is this painted picture of the upper section of the wharf has been paved. So again, no indication as to whether or not this has addressed the problem that the wharf had faced. Because the government went to Parliament to get another $100 million to complete the project. No address of these particular issues at all. So as I said before, we are just voting cattle. So we're supposed to have this painted picture, and we are supposed to just assume everything has been addressed and we can now move forward. No further information. And they are the agency for public information. Boy.
Hello?
Go ahead, Al. Yes.
What worries me is that, for water to seep through underneath, it has to be there's a leak somewhere because you lost quite a lot of soil. So has that problem been solved? And if the declutching mechanism has been soldered together, it means that it would not have any give. To me, that means that when the steel comes under any sort of stress, it is going to ping, it will go ping and burst. So how can they guarantee us that that wouldn't happen? I mean, you don't have to go to any level above Farm 3 to realize that it's simple physics, right? You have water on one side, you have soil pushing against something in the middle. The thing that's in the middle, the clutch, in order to snap, in order there was a give, right? You decide you're going to weld it together, which is what we were told. It's been welded together. So there'll be no give. The reason why you put the give in the first case was to accommodate land movement, water movement, earth movements. You've taken away that capacity for the thing to function like that. So it's like a rubber band with a little bit of a bit of elastic to have some give on both sides. And you want to tell me that's safe. And I don't care. I don't have to be an engineer, and people can say, well, you think it is that and the other. There has to be a physical explanation for that. How is that going to solve the problem? Right?
But
How
Alwyn,
is that going to
besides that, they brought in some welders. How come we never saw any of these welders? The API never decided, let me take some pictures of these welders in action. How come we never saw that? That's what their proposal. How come we never saw that aspect of their proposal in action? That baffles me too. You're doing something to repair and you're not giving any public information on this particular repair that is being carried out. Am I missing something? Was it done in effect?
Gentlemen.
Unlike a pair where you have fingers that juts out and so forth, and this is a solid thing. So when boats come alongside, they are going to bounce against that. They are going to bounce whatever you soldered underneath. They are going to bounce it against the clutching mechanism, which was there, I think, to even accommodate that. What is going to happen now? What's going to happen now? And people don't want us to ask these questions. We have people in government. Their role is to answer to the people. They're not there to govern and lord and rule it over us. They're supposed to do things within our interests, not within our interest, within our best interests. Can't have the attitude. I get that if you don't want to leave it there. That's not what democracy and government's all about. And that's what we've been fed in the last 20 years. I am the Lord. What I give you and rest of the table. If you don't want it, too bad for you.
Yeah,
Right?
so much so, gentlemen, that I think if the API discovers something in the public interest that goes against the government, they would not.
They should report it.
They would not report it. They would not. They would not report it. If it's in national interest, but goes against party politics, that they ain't seeing the light of day.
So they need to change the name. That's what you're suggesting, Carla.
The API is like a
right. It's supposed to be AUI, Agency for the Unity Labour Party. That's what they're supposed to be, right? AULPI.
Like I tell you, I mean, Venezuela is in the news again, and the United States is claiming that the United States is claiming that that they weren't Maduro was not democratically elected. The journalist that was sent to oversee the elections from St. Vincent and the Grenadines was working for the Searchlight. Was working for the Searchlight as an independent, which means you submit a story and the Searchlight, if the Searchlight carry it, it write you a check. He has a big position at the API now. Anybody out there is wide open.
No, but Carly, I am saying, but there was also other compromise. I remember there was some rumor that some of the workers were indicating that the buildings were vibrating. They were shaking during certain whatever activities that were going on. And again, we have no further information to collaborate or to deny this particular accusation. Nothing at all is coming. I mean, I am thinking here is a $700 million project. The Prime Minister said it was compromised. I can't remember. I think it was 10% compromise at the structural level. 10%, and I can't remember if that was the correct number. So I may be misquoting him. But there was a
30%, something to do with 30%. I don't know. I think it's a little more than that. I think.
Okay, good.
I could be
Okay,
wrong,
good.
Yeah.
But right, as I said before, Carly, I can't quote on this, but I know there was a percentage. It was a hefty percentage.
I think it's more. I think it's much more. Yeah.
Right, it was a hefty percentage at the foundational level. Normally, when you have these structural issues at a foundational level, you have to break down and start to rebuild because this was foundational issues. And I am thinking, if these people are saying that there are vibrations while they are in these particular buildings, does not that indicate to us that something else is going on that we don't know anything about? I know this is a prized possession for the government. This is like the airport. They want to be able to say, this has been completed. Hey, look at what we have done for you. It's a showcase. It's a showpiece. I am not disputing all of that. But I am saying, are we deciding to force ourselves to accept an exhibition or to deal with the real issues that are impacting us as far as this project is concerned? And like we closing one eye and trying to force the other one to see something that is not there. And I'm hoping this is not the direction that we are going. We have heard other reputable geologists, other reputable persons indicate to us quite clearly that this decluttering was a farce. There was something that they were saying. They were saying that apparently the piles were not gone down to a bedrock level. So hence we're having this particular leakage. Is there anyone to dispute that? Ooh.
Boy, but this is where we are. We at the sad state. At least the way I see it, we won't get to know the truth. Just like Barbados got to know the truth about the finances when the government changed. We're not going to know the truth until the government changes. We're not going to know the honest truth until.
No, but Carly, but this sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Nice radio. Good afternoon. Good morning. You're live.
Yes. Yes. Carla, who was the gentleman who was just speaking a while ago there? Is that Odd?
Yeah, that's Odd Valentine. Yeah.
Okay, Odd, good morning. I am so grateful that I come off and listen to you to hear what you were saying there about the port. You talk about welders and so forth and not having anything to show. When they had the divers out, my prediction was, aren't we as the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, when they're doing these things, you have divers down there. Shouldn't be the divers having cameras and so forth going down there and doing a video of footage and what's not, and when it comes up or whatever, it's supposed to be shown to whether it's the Prime Minister or the government who is in hand right now. And also, it shouldn't, something like that should be shown on API or so forth, where we
verification purposes. Quite agreed.
And those sort of things, because as you said, with the clutch down to the bottom, I am not an engineer, but common sense alone could tell you if something is not solid based on the ground with the foundation. That's why we build on foundations, and if you're not on solid foundation and you have a declutch, you think digging out what we see they were doing then welling from here to over there and putting in boulders, which to start doing on the last of the project, which I think the bowler should have been something first, backing out and going out, like what we do at the financial complex and those places. And what they should have done there is make sure that those things is finished. Because when you have a ship coming in, which is a very heavy ship, as you said, docking up alongside there, at the bottom is not solid. You don't think after a while it's going to by hitting and vibration, those piles or whatever they have there are going to be shifted, and it could cause the government of St. Vincent will not be here to see when my children and my grandchildren going through this disaster, and these sort of things, because it's our children and great grandchildren, so who's gonna come to face this thing is gonna happen. And I don't want to hear my child or your grandchild or your great grandchild working in one of those buildings, getting a work in one of those buildings, and then you hear building collapse or something or whatever to the exhaust, God forbid.
Charles.
I don't want that. Yeah.
Charles, government is infinite. A government will always be there to witness whatever comes along. Wall boss wouldn't be there, and none of the people in the earth will be there when the disaster takes place. That is the problem.
And before
I go,
talking about, and before I go, let's say that they are building a country. How do you build a country? How do you develop the country? Is that from government goes and they build projects, and the other government comes and maintain these projects as government projects and build on the country, right? So this is what
they never subscribe to that. They subscribe to the fact that when they came into power, that's when government started. Everything that happened before the ULP came into power is a figment of the imagination of intentions. Non-existent. The only reality that struck St. Vincent started in 2000. That's when the wall became apparent of intentions. Before that, we were all
because we have to really look at Attlee Hall. Attlee Hall is one of the biggest projects, and from ever day one, even before the Attlee Hall started, when was in opposition, we must remember what the opposition at the time, who was the current president now, was going through. They go all out to run Mr. Mitchell down with that project. It turned out that they lost in court and everything like that. That project should have been one of the leading projects in the Caribbean right now, because of our waters. What has they done? I was the one who sent pictures when they were cutting up all the metals and things down there, putting in containers. I was the one got Mr. Friday and them to go down there and see what was really going on with the pictures and evidence that I sent to them. And that's when they really saw what was happening down there. And I can't see from why we are, as a people now, still catch on to this government. I really I'm begging and pleading, with Vincentian people, this, we have an opportunity now to get this government out of office, and therefore we are supposed to stand up as a people when wrong is going on and get them out of office. We cannot go through this another 5 years. No, make the $500 and $600 and them kind of thing they get to your head. I've listened to the great Malcolm X, and I've heard him talk about the house slaves and all those other things. And we have a lot of them. We have a lot of them who's in there. And that is what is happening. When Master say this, yes, Master, yes, Master, yes, Master, we are with you. This is what it is. We already break that chain already. We already break that chain. That's why we have a thing we celebrate the other day, We celebrated it the other day, Emancipation Day. We break those chains a long time ago. We are no more slaves. We are learned how to work for our own and be independent and help to build our country. I was in St. Lucia not too long ago, and I went into Rodney Bay, and I was surprised. Rodney Bay alone will overthrow the looks of the city that we have there, that this government has now going. We should have been up and going along head to head with St. Lucia and these places when it comes to development. But like, the people don't want to see development, they want to see the semblance go down. We are already to our neck, people. Let's take back our country. And like Bigger Bigs and the Ross Johns and the people who are coming forward and speaking out, I was called a cry baby, by Kingsley. But I told him, when I cry for what I see is going wrong. I am not looking for anything for the graveyard or anything like that. I am crying because my country is crying and the people is crying, and I have children in this country who are going to face it. So if I want to be a cry baby, let me be a cry baby. I'll cry for you as well. I told him that. And I hear him now, he's calling in because probably he's feeling the grind. He's feeling it. And he started calling nice radio programs and so forth now, and he start talking. But gentlemen, thank you for your time. I think I said enough. And you guys continue our
Charles,
All right.
Before you go, the Otley Hall product, Otley Hall
Easy
will
one.
never ever be a success under Ralph, because that is something that the NDP started. And for them to make it a success would be for people to come and say, oh, well, they started it, we built it. So it will never, because that's the sort of thing that the person is. The amount of money we spent just to get an inquiry to see if we could have put Mitchell in jail, and that didn't succeed. And we got debt forgiveness because of Otley Hall. I was there when they had the last picnic, that ULP party, when they had the last picnic on Otley Hall, campaigning against it, saying that it should not be turned, into a shipyard because we're taking away all the nice beaches where they have in public access, etc. and so forth. What have they done since they turned it? What the big port down say? Take with the whole bottom tongue where people can go in the water there to swim.
Yeah, but Al, but the verdict is still out on the port, and I'm still, hey, now, Carly told me it was 30%, but I can't remember if it was 30%. I thought the Prime Minister said 10%. Huh? But no, this is astronomical now. This has changed my view with regards to what is happening at the port. Now, if you're building a structure and 30% has been compromised, 30% of your base has been compromised, and that's the way
That
this happen.
30%, or you have to take it with several grains of salt because of the amount out of which it came. Because that person never tells the truth. 30% is
Is
a
me
big
talking
guess.
about it?
You must take that. No, not you, Carla, because I heard it come from I can't call it a horse because horses whisper truth and wisdom. Not it came out the mouth. Whether one
All
call it
right.
a dragon or whatever the case may be.
Speaking of the port,
That 30% you have to be very cautious about.
there's an article in this week's Searchlight. It says countdown for new delivery date for port modernization project. It reads, October is this country's month of independence, and it's the period that is being targeted for the completion of the port modernization project located in Kingstown. Project engineer Lenski Douglas told the API that this country's second largest capital project should be completed by October 24th, 25, all things being equal, in quotation marks. He said the contractor Aecon has indicated this project will be completed by October 24th, and all hands are on deck pushing towards the completion date. The project was originally targeted for the completion during the first half of 2025, but encountered setbacks due to the loss of reclaimed material. So more, please read the Searchlight. The setbacks are what we are most.
But I thought Lenski had changed jobs, Carly. So that's not, there's no truth in that?
I don't know. This is an article from the Searchlight, dated the 29th of August, where they quoting him as project engineer.
Okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Yeah. All right, somebody's on the line. Nice radio.
It's just me. I just want to confirm what you said. To all, is 40% the immediate service has been compromised. Sadan, later.
All right, thanks. Take it. Yeah. Like I said, I remember it being much more than 10%. I think I did hear 30. I think I did hear 30. Although you just have to be careful.
1/3.
Yeah. One third,
One third,
which is 33%.
right? But it comes out of the mouth of somebody who is always lying. So we can't believe it's 30%. That 30% is the modest bit that they could tell us. So it could be anything between 30 and 60% compromisation. Who knows? Because we've always been fed lies. You've had people who have been in government who ruling over us who come and tell us lies. We were told they had $400 million to spend. 40 cents ain't spent yet. We have a good history with a litany of people in power coming to lie to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And far too many of us, Vincent, are too gullible and naive in our politics to accept that sort of thing and to say, this is good. This is good. What's good about it?
Another article, and this is yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I am glad you mentioned it because to me that poses an occupational hazard, and I wanted to briefly touch on that whole thing about occupational hazard, basically because this is something we do not pay attention to in St. Vincent at all. Occupational hazards is a fundamental thing that we should really and truly be looking at when we deal with anything in the country, and in particular the farmers, because remember last week we talked about this jaundice, and it's just I just thinking about it in my exposure there, how farmers in particular, because they work with the land, they probably don't look at the hazards they're exposed to when they work in the land. So for instance, when I work in Georgetown, I used to see this guy in his with his gramoxone can on his back, and he's in his khaki suit, and he going to work, and he proud as punch. And I used to say, oh my God, this is a walking illness here, because you're going to work, hot sun, you're going to sweat, you're going to spray gramoxone. That gramoxone is going to be absorbed into that khaki overall. And sometime in the afternoon, you're going to feel tired, you're going to lie down, you're going to sweat in it, and all you're doing is really lying down in a dough of gramoxone and absorb that into your skin. Now, Maurice Robertson had done a big study which he had published. This is over 30 years now, about the effect of gramoxone on the population, even on right and reducing male fertility in the country. But we know the gramoxone also have an impact on birds' eggs. Just the absorption makes them soft and they wouldn't hatch. And it's just to say, when we're out in the fields as farmers, we need to take that precaution because we have that hazard. You're taking a dirty your hand and put it into the soil. You don't know what rat passed it the night before and messed there, so that you could take up some disease in your hand. You don't wear the right water boots. If you're doing things like gramoxone and so forth, you should be going to work in your ordinary clothes, changing into your overalls, do your spraying. When you finish, you take that off, you wash. Yes, and if preferably you don't put that set of overall on, you have another set of overall for the next day, because every day you put on that same set of overall, you are absorbing gramoxone into your body, right? And I am not sure we have ever looked at that as part of the problem in our country. We have policemen, part of their hazard is the van they putting them in to transport them around. No, they could drop out anytime, bust their head, get crippled, etc. and so forth. What mechanism we have in place to protect them when they do that? So occupational hazard and occupational health is something we are not looking at in St. Vincent. This is not what I want to talk about today anyway,
But
right?
Alvin,
But I'll come back to
but
that.
with regards to that
Yeah.
pickup, there's a law in regards to people in the back of a pickup in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I'm continuing to be surprised that the police are violating that law themselves. And I want to know with impunity, because that's how they transport their personnel. And there is a line in
And prisoners and people who have been arrested.
Somebody in WhatsApp was sent a question, Dr. Leacock. This is that why a lot of why leukemia is prominent amongst farmers? Is Dr. Leacock, isn't that why many farmers have leukemia? Somebody.
I can't I cannot answer that, because what you need to do is to do a study and see what sort of occupational environment these people work in, right? But it may well be, if you do that, if you don't audit how many people have died from leukemia, which environment they were working in, and what the things they were using, then you might be able to come to that conclusion. But I can't conclude that. And I wouldn't say that because I wouldn't have any evidence to support that. But it's one of the things that we did glibly. Teachers have an exposure chalk. That's the occupational hazard. Apart from the fact that the students is a hazard as well, because students beating teachers these days.
That's on the chart now, Alvin. That we're using the markers now. The markers are scented markers. Most of them are scented markers, and that's for the you're breathing that every day.
Every day.
And there's this whole issue
right?
now.
So that's an occupational hazard. What we putting in place?
And there's this issue now, Alvin, where the occupational hazard is becoming more and more of something that is so subtle. It's a mind thing. You don't know how to respond to the general public. You can't even do your job without calling Raz. Apparently, you have to call Raz to determine, can I do this? That's why I continue to big up those civil servants who stood up against Stamina. Because that's a rare situation now in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The occupation is, I need to confer with the Prime Minister before I take any particular decision that may cause problems later on. When I use the word may, I use that word very, very purposefully. Because you don't know. You don't know what it is that will go back to the Prime Minister. You tell a person, hey, nah, I can't give you the job now. The person call the Prime Minister because he call the Prime Minister and speed dial. Prime Minister call you. Alvin, how come you get the person the job? I send the man there for a job. And that's an occupational hazard in St. Vincent and the Grenadines now. Could you believe that? You are afraid to do what is normal as far as your duties are concerned. And that's a concern that people have, and I have that all the time. I continue to raise that history on this particular program. You are afraid. Government wants, yes, workers. They don't want workers anymore to be following the rules and regulations that govern them. Because Ras can always alter these things according to fans. According to any fanfare that he has, he can decide to change these things willy-nilly. In other words, if Raz wants it, we have to first find out if this is okay. And that's the kind of country, and that's an occupational hazard in Ireland. That's a strange one, but that's an occupational hazard that is probably killing us. Not only the vaccine, but some people are dying on unusual circumstances of civil servants these days. And you attribute it to the vaccine. But this could be definitely stress. You're working under stress, especially if you are not a yes worker.
All right. Another thing I wanted to touch on this week, gentlemen, is well, I was looking. I remember a couple of years ago there was one of those countries one of those countries north of us, that their prime minister, high-ranking government official, got arrested for cocaine. I was searching for it on the internet, but the only thing I came up with was something that happened in the Bahamas. And I did that because the biggest thing in the international news right now is the standoff between Venezuela and the United States, where they're sending warships, including nuclear warships.
Ships.
Nuclear warships in
Off the coast
Venezuelan
of
waters,
Venezuela.
and Venezuela's having a standoff. And I saw a speech where Maduro says, it's not just Venezuela he's going to come up against. He's going up against the whole Americas. But sometimes you wonder if certain allegations that the United States is making is true, because of the shot that we would hear. Like I said, I can't remember if it was one of the Virgin Islands or one St. Kitts or one some country up north. I can't remember. But here's an article from 2024, November 27, 24.
Was it not the Bahamas?
It was at the Bahamas or Turks and Caicos, only two of them, somewhere around there. It says U.S. attorney announces cocaine importation charges against chief superintendent of the Royal Bahamas Police Force and other Bahamian officials. Elvis Nathaniel Curtis and other corrupt Bahamian officials led efforts to support and protect large-scale cocaine shipments through the Bahamas en route to the United States. Damian Williams, United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, and Ann Milgram, the Administrator for the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, announced the unsealing of an indictment charging 13 defendants with cocaine importation and related weapons offenses in connection with their participation in a massive cocaine importation conspiracy enabled by a corrupt Bahamian government official, including high-ranking members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. This article is what the website United States Attorney's Office. This is an article that's from for further reading. You can check that out. I say that because sometimes you're wondering what could be transpired. Somebody put something on the internet. Somebody had something on the internet about reminding us that, but I didn't even realize it was so much. It was 6 pallets of cocaine that a ship was a ship was a ship was seized. A ship was seized with 6 pallets of cocaine that had left the last port was St. Vincent, and there was another instance where cocaine was found.
So the cocaine left St. Vincent.
Yeah, the cocaine left St. Vincent on
6 pallets.
6 pallets
So
of
we
cocaine.
manufacturing in St. Vincent or just transshipping?
Well, I like I said, I remember there was a big hoorah in the news about the amount of cocaine, but I never thought about it as 6 pallets. It sounds like that person. It sounds like that person actually had additional information. Where the news report, like they were given the tonnage, they were given the size. Somebody just says Carlisle. It was the BVI premier chair of authority and her son arrested in the U.S. cocaine deals. Yes. Next WhatsApp says, "Good morning, Carlisle. You're referring to the BVI premier. He's in jail now, wanted to ship cocaine to pass through BVI waters." Yeah. Like I said, sometimes you wonder if things could be happening right.
But
Okay.
our soap powder, our soap powder was never discovered. Our soap powder was never tested, and the persons who are responsible, they went back home.
They went back home, and they went back home and was supposed to come back. And even with that, the person was saying one of the sailors, his cousin or uncle or some family member was a member of the Venezuelan cabinet.
Related to Maduro?
Yeah, but related to somebody in the Venezuelan government, and we wondering if,
And we had a debt. We had a debt.
Yeah, if Trump is just making this thing up as to alleviate from with all the crazy things that he's doing with regard to the tariffs and the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. If he's just trying a distraction, there's some legitimacy.
But
to send it.
Did we have any coroners inquest into that soap powder death and what
nothing.
No,
what is the outcome of that?
all these are unanswered questions. Like it never got any further with the tonnage of
I think
cocaine
somebody
that
had promised, Carl, somebody had promised that these people would come back for the trial.
Yeah. That was promised, but forget about that.
But that's the same person that
Forget
tell you
about that.
30% is worth damage.
The cocaine in hair product. We never get any development with that is concerned. There was no public satisfaction. Like, well, okay, there was some Trinidadians that was in Simmons who ship out the coke or whatever, or some Venezuelans that was in Simmons who ship out the coke, or Colombians, or we never got nowhere with it. So,
and when you know was discovered with cocaine, to how charges or how penalties were greatly reduced, and people were surprised.
About 300, and I think that was like 300 pounds of cocaine. And I go, how the hell does a nurse be responsible for 300 pounds of cocaine? Somebody's on the radio. Nice radio. Good morning.
Hazard.
Good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning to all on the panel discussion. I just
Good morning, Patsy.
A while ago, tuning in. So therefore, you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So you were talking about the cocaine and someone who has been caught and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And someone has said, is the BVI? Yes, it is the BVI. But he did actually have the cookie. They were suspect that he was doing such with money laundering. And what they do, the agents, Miami and those folks, investigators, act like they are the dealers and like they have those cocaine and so on to sell and to buy and whatever like that, and they setting them come to them, which is the leader and also the son and the mother, all them, like, they want to be a part of the deal and sell back and so on. So by that, what happened, they make deal with uncover, and we call it several investigators and so on, and with Mexico and them and Venezuelan thing, and they speak out, put out the belly. What is the intention? He did went up there on business, tourism and so on, but he used that opportunity to do deal what I never know that he'll be caught in the net. So therefore, by that, they was bringing in, telling where where they go get them, where they must send the money to, who they must send the money to, and pass it on to, and so on. So they don't make the deal in that situation, and the cocaine to pass on, and where to carry it from which island to island to lock them up. So therefore, right now, the sentence him, I think, is last year. And the lady and the Maynard and the other person is the son. And so therefore, I just speak because me and them very close, and I'm not bragging.
So you know him personally? You know him personally?
Yes, up there he used to come in my house. We sit down and talk and get up there. I really reside too, and I used to be around them, come in the house, every one of them, and I used to speak even for election time.
Be careful, be careful. You're being heard.
No. This is interesting.
Hide.
This is interesting. I mean, I don't think this really has anything to do with cooking. But what is interesting?
Everybody know me. I don't have nothing to be hide.
You see, but what is interesting is that this person was convicted according to the evidence. And you had no idea. It doesn't seem like you had any idea that he had anything to do with cooking.
No, I didn't have no idea because but what's saying, the guy who does say very careful. I must say that me, I and such people and other people are very close, not for evil, but for wisdom, knowledge,
I hear you,
and understanding, and like counseling, amen. And so when it happened, I was down here, and they called me and say, what's going on, and I prefer the others, and that's what I have. Everybody knows me, who I am and what I used to do, or nothing to be. I hide up to do things. So it ain't matter whatever it is. If something goes wrong, I will say don't. Everybody know me, so they know who I am, and I there's a lot of things. Even in St. Vincent, I keep my mouth shut. You understand me? That God will speak to me, show me, and I keep it shut out because they don't know who nobody confidential. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you see, the thing that hits it is the country. It's the country itself. Is the level of distrust that you really have no idea who the hell you're dealing with. Because you're in a position, you're in such.
And also call it the level of corruption.
Yeah. Yes.
But also, Carla, the level of corruption that exists in these particular governments and these particular offices who think that they can get away with anything until they're caught.
But you see, what I'm wondering, I'm wondering, could this be happening right under our noses here?
Well,
And
that's my point, Carla.
And we were thinking about it, and we in denial about it. Is that what happens? Is that genuinely what is happening with Donald Trump? I mean, it's $50 million.
It have a lot of leaders who is under that, who doing it. But the problem is they ain't get caught as yet. Because this respectable man that who have found himself the leader for that island have found himself. I must say that yes, he's a good person. He loves God. Anything that he have, I don't want to mislead him. Anything that they have for the country, instead of at the time they have carnival fest and wind down, he will call the church, the nation for prayer. He will call the church, say open for prayer. Even for hurricane, after hurricane, you say let me have prayer. He was a man in every church. But if he greed, the love of money is the root of all evil. When you forgot who put you there, when you forgot that what is the mission of being there as a leader, and you all think about yourself, after time, what will happen? You must get caught. You must get, find yourself in a serious situation. What will happen? And the problem in our society, in nation today.
Let her finish, Alika. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Auntie.
Yes, in the nation today, that there are many leaders, so they believe they can do whatever they want in such thing like that, money laundering, drugs, this, that, and they won't get caught because they believe that there's a God above who ain't watching them, who ain't studying them. And therefore, but one day, used to say, Lucy, don't you know, one day the bucket will go to a well, go drop out. Therefore, we have to be careful because there's a day, have a hope, have an end. And I pray that, you understand me, wherever we're doing, wherever other nations are doing, be careful because you'll be caught one of these days.
I hear you. But like I said,
thank you.
Yeah, but that's not the philosophy. That's not the philosophy I really want us to trump, Carla. The philosophy is, if you know something is wrong, you need to speak out. I remember was talking about that just now. He was talking about this whole idea that there are issues on your job that can lead to your detriment, that can lead to your deterioration in health. People will sit down and take it in, knowing that this thing can kill them because they're afraid if they talk, they might lose their job. We need to stop this nonsense. We need to speak out. If there's evil, we need to speak against the evil. If there's good, we need to trump the good. We need to benefit from the good that is taking place and begin to trump it. We need to speak for good and the evil.
The phones are going crazy. Nice radio. Good morning. Good afternoon. You're live. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello. Hello. The person's gone.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, boss. How you doing?
I just joined late. I was not paying attention to the conversation because my daughter came and visited me. I really need to spend some time there. So I just
you in charge now. I put him in check once a man, a check twice a child.
He trained one day, no? He trained one. The boss trained one.
The biggest one. I put two smoke on the wheel.
So I don't know quite. I'm not certain what the topic was that because it is.
But we were talking about the soap powder in the Grenadines, and up till now we can't have a resolution on the soap powder issue.
Who was involved?
We were talking about Trump and the the cocaine allegation against the drug allegation against Maduro, and with that we started bringing forth things that happen in the Caribbean, questions without a lot of questions without answers, including the Union Island.
If I may remind you all this, right? Who was involved? Was it Venezuelans?
Yep.
Okay. If you remember that those persons who were involved from Venezuela were sent back to Venezuela to the fishing village where they came from because the mayor, they had an election. And they said in an article that came out from Venezuela, which we read on radio many times, that if the mayor, those persons didn't come back, the mayor would have lost the elections. The DPP Colin Williams at the time said that these people would be back in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the inquests. They never came back because they are Venezuelan. At the same time, our Prime Minister was promoting the Alba Court and the Alba Bank, and everything is to do with Venezuela. So Venezuela could come to St. Vincent and do anything. Around the same time, remember the goal for money where somebody was murdered, and it was involving a Venezuelan who was never prosecuted in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and left the country. If you all remember that. So that's where the corruption is, and it's sad that it is the way it is.
But you just said, Joggy, the DPP of St. Vincent and the Grenadines promised the general public that these guys who went home to vote would return to St. Vincent to testify. The DPP.
Yes.
He had made a promise to St. Vincent and the Grenadines as DPP.
Yes.
Not as Colin Williams, but as the DPP of St. Vincent. He had pledged that these guys would return home, and he's now a judge. Colin Williams is now a judge, and that promise is still yet to be fulfilled.
And that's where we are at as a nation. So the law is good for some and not good for others.
Not good for others. But what does that put your thoughts where the US's allegations of Maduro being a drug lord is concerned? Like there's a lot of speculation, on the internet where it is well, okay, it's not that, they're looking for a regime change in Venezuela. Trump is using that as a distraction. What they really want is the oil. And and the list goes on, and we're looking left and right and left, right, and center, and a song sung by the late Godfrey Dublin came to mind. Said the whole Caribbean in a mess. Cocaine and drugs have us in distress. Too much youth with their high. Yes, Dougie.
If one understands, historically speaking, that a lot of drugs came out of Central and South of America, and Venezuela name has always been, not now, from a long time, part of that regime that seemed to have been involved in drugs. What is institutional from a governmental perspective, I do not know. Things that I could tell you about corruption that I have seen, and when in the news, you remember that the finance minister, the finance minister of ex-finance minister of Turkey or one of those places, Turkey or I can't remember, I think it's Turkey, was caught in Germany with $75 million that they said was that they said was involved in this illicit trading in Venezuela. That was in the news. That is not Dougie the Freitas making that up. At the same time, when I had said that the that Maduro's family had some 5 point something billion dollars in Swiss bank account. It was said that I was talking nonsense, and it was published in one of the articles sometime to prove that what I was saying was correct. At the same time, we were speaking of those articles show you where Castro's daughter had worth how many billions of dollars. But these are the governments that say they believe in the poor and the working class. The poor and the working class.
Dougie, was
And
that the same paper that mentioned the 19 million from St. Vincent?
no,
Or was it?
that was a different article.
That's a different article.
That's a different article. That's the same. That's the same article that spoke to the Panama Papers when they said Camila Prasad Besessa went officially to look after her business that she never denied about her monies, which was not gotten by illegal operations.
But
But
we
that
were promised
other
an investigation into that Panama thing as well. What
right,
became of that?
other Caribbean leaders names were called to have had tremendous amount of monies stashed away. If you pay attention to what is happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for a poor country where you have people who have never really had any major businesses over the years to amass the wealth that they have. I'm not talking about people running business for the last 40, 50 years and old money and so on. I'm speaking, but recently you have an upsurge with people whose lifestyle, show that they are living among the rich and the famous. How they achieve these monies, I don't know. And so people have a right to speculate if visually you cannot see the kind of activities. Now, they will tell you this is a different age of cryptocurrency and e-trading and all kinds of things and so forth. But if you go back and look at the financial journals and sites and so forth and whatnot, you can still trace whoever is trading on the cryptocurrency or whatever and so forth and whatnot. Last night, CNN carry a story about the over $2 billion that the Trump family was able to amass from this concocted crypto situation. So we don't even know what's going on. The world is in such a mess, and corruption is worse today than it has ever been all over the world because everything is just from the kinds of leadership that we have in the region and out of the region.
But now that we refer back to this Union Island episode, didn't we have a murder in that particular
Yeah, that's
entangle?
what they were supposed to come back to to see justice.
And I am positive, if the DPP had made a promise to this nation that this murder, these eyewitnesses to this murder would return, there must be something punitive. I wonder if Brittany is listening to us. If far as we could have charged the DPP on, because he had promised that these eyewitnesses would return. He had made a promise, and that was a bold statement that we could.
I don't know.
If there was something we could have done, league sure that this was done.
Sometimes it would seem it would seem we just do and say things by the 9 days.
Y'all hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing
yes,
you.
who's that?
Yes, Art, we're hearing you. Sometimes it would seem.
Yeah, Art, we heard all that you said, was just listening.
I think I don't know. Yeah, Art.
Art, we're hearing you.
Go out and come back in because you're frying for some reason. Yeah, hopefully he takes a hint. I took him out of the queue.
Alwyn,
hello.
One of the things that people need to understand that the world is in such a mess that the judicial systems of the world somehow has gotten so corrupted. You know, the judicial system has gotten so corrupted. Are you hearing us now? Odd? Just trying to see if Odd he came back in, but
yeah, he came back in. He fried for a little bit. He stopped frying. No, I'm not hearing him.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening there. But the judicial system of the world, and more so, the Caribbean is like that. And you cannot tell me that the Caribbean is not very corrupt. It is, because you can never get anything passed where politicians are involved. You have to go to the Privy Council in order. Are you
Well,
hearing us?
I had to come back out because I wasn't hearing anybody, and I don't know if y'all were hearing me.
Okay, well, we're hearing you loud and clear now. I was speaking, I was saying the judicial system is so corrupt. And the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Everything involved politicians never get past any to give
The
justice.
politicians in power.
It
The
always
politicians
have
in
to,
power.
yes, the politicians in power. You have to end up reach Privy Council because you always lose in this jurisdiction. So they stretch this system of dealing with cases to the point where it takes years. You know, the election petition of 2015 has not been completed. The appeal is still on. That's amazing, you know.
10 years after.
That has never been completed, you know. Some people say, oh, we got to forget about that because elections don't come and gone. But that is precisely what they want you to do, is that you must forget. So on the record, you cannot show that there is corruption within the system. And so you have to end up with everything. Look at the teachers and the civil service issues. You have to now go and reach Privy Council. To date, you cannot have leave from the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court to go to the Privy Council. They have not given permission to go to the Privy Council. How could you have a system that you have people's lives at bay, where people lost their homes, their families, everything they have lost because they stand on their constitutional right not to take a concocted vaccine? And the world has proven that it is so. Every other case that went out there, it went against all governments. In St. Vincent and the
But Dougie,
Grenadines.
what I'm confused about, Doug, is that nobody would indicate to us what is preventing this thing from going on further. Up till now, because there's no briefing, because there are some laws. There's some laws in relation to proof and evidential and so forth that can hinder the movement of this from where it is to the next stage. And nobody would lay claim to indicate to us, the general public, who are waiting with abated breaths with regards to what is the next step for this particular legal matter. Nobody would make any statement. Nobody from the appellate court would make a statement or would send a statement to the ones who are pursuing it to indicate, well, this is the problem. You're talking about almost 200 days and you are still awaiting a judgment to move forward. I don't understand that at all.
But they're quick to publish. Oh, well, the rules in the favor of the government, because Ralph said it. He said, no matter what court, you go to any court that you want, any, you still have to come back to Papa.
That is why Michel Andrews had to die without getting any particular Howdean coat.
But you see, gentlemen, and the bigger picture with this is concerned, which is where I want to base my argument, is that is going to take is this mistrust, our mistrust in our society. Will we join hands with the USA, or we join hands with Venezuela? Because Venezuela says, it's not just Venezuela, you're attacking the entire Americas, which means us here in a part of Central America. It's going to rise up against, and they use words like imperialism and colonialism and capitalism and this and that and all the ism and ism.
Well, you see, Black Stalin, they tell you stay away from all them isms and schisms. Because that have the world in a mess. But you see, Trinidad now is putting pressure on Venezuela because Trinidad is supporting Guyana without water in their mouth. Not like our prime minister when they had this concocted to showcase him as a super leader, Argyle Accord, where when you look at the way he shook the hands of President Ali, but he hugged and kissed the Venezuelan president. That speaks volumes.
That speaks color.
Because
no, you see, gentlemen, as a Caribbean national, okay, as a Caribbean national in this 2025 state of being, where we understand what mental slavery has done to us, what colonization has done to us, and the state of where we are now, especially the state where that African Burkina Faso leader, is raising the spirits of Africa. Do we resist being recolonized? Do we even it would not surprise me, if it's concluded, if it's generally concluded, even in Guyana, that Guyana would also rise up against the US and say, well, no, it's affecting all of us.
But the assumption
you need to go with that spin. You need to handle that Epstein thing. You need to answer the economy with all them tariffs that you're jacking up, and don't use us as no flimsy excuse. Yes.
The assumption there is that we have been decolonized. So I need to ask you that question. Have we been decolonized?
We still mentally colonized. We still mentally colonized.
Right? Not mentally. Not mentally only, Carlisle. We are still financially colonized because we are into a system of dependency syndrome where we have inculcated in our system the wanting, the enticement of living the life of those things that we could ill afford. If you pay attention to what St. Vincent and the Grenadines has become, the government itself has borrowed through its teeth way and over and above our ability to pay. And the only how we could come out of these things is to get debt forgiveness. The hook, the Prime Minister said it. He has put a hook in the gill of Vincentians. That's what he said. He said NDP, but he meant the Vincentians. He said, one night finish with you all could never get out of this. No, for you to go and negotiate debt forgiveness, it means that you are going from a compromising position, a position of weakness where you have to say no, and then they put your hand to the mill and say, look, if we give you this, then you have to do this. You have to support the things that you don't want to support. You have to support the LGBTQ things. You have to, which we know is a law against God. We know you have to support some inhumane treatment of people from different countries and so forth. All these things, and when you look at the recent thing with Trump, is that Trump is saying that if you don't do this and if you don't come to the table and speak to me, then you will be. This is what will happen to you. Now, recently, the Grenadian Minister of Finance, his visa was revoked. Well, if I was in a position of government and I have to stand in a position and you want to take away my visa, you could take it away. But that's it's the way the world is. And everything that has been spoken against of over the years in terms of inhumane treatment, countries that are dictatorship oriented. Now we're seeing it evolving in the very same sphere of our lives here in this region in the Americas.
In America's Dougie, in
Because
St. Vincent and the
America,
Grenadines, we are a country that is now celebrating the job description that was put into effect and utilized by two or three civil servants who decided, this is the law. These are the rules and regulations.
I agree. He dropped out there. And the thing is now, if you go to a financial institution, there are clauses in now that your political exposure. So you see how devastating things have become. I put back in audio.
Hear me now?
Audio.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No,
You
I
were
was
speaking
saying,
and you drop
we're
out.
talking about colonialization. And the mere fact that we can celebrate those civil servants who decided not to do anything different.
I don't know. It seems like your audio is popping in and out. Your audio is popping in and out hard. I don't know why. Yeah.
Go ahead, Art.
You hearing me now?
Yeah, try it again.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying that here are we celebrating with these civil servants who decided to stand their ground and simply apply their rules and regulations. They didn't do anything different. They didn't do anything miraculous. They simply agreed that I, as a civil servant, am simply applying what governs me and telling Storm no. And we are celebrating them for doing their job. Could you believe that? That's where we are.
I'll give you a funny story where that is concerned. When one time I was in Calico in my sister's supermarket, and somebody walked in with a cigar in their mouth and lighting it. I'm hearing the flick of the lighter. And so I turned around and saw this, and I got a big mouth. I take a deep breath and ask him. I don't know if I use a tweet or whatever, but I was that upset. And the person put up your hand and raise up your hand and like no. Then tried to tell me he wasn't lighting it, he was just burning the ends. I'm like, don't burn the ends inside here. Then he left, and somebody asked me, Carl, who that person was? I'm like, no, who is it? He said, no, that was Tom. But I don't know if it's a learned experience where other Vincentians can see that and say, well, no, Carl, I must not recognize this person here because he should be able to like the cigar.
Yeah, but that Carlisle, in all honesty, that may have been just oversight in his point.
Oversight in his point,
because
we can all cigar in the supermarket.
Yes, I'm just saying too. So, but if you told him and he backed down, it means that he said he wasn't. Okay. My problem is not that is trivia to some of the serious issues. Don't have a problem. Every one of us as citizens have the right to earn a living legitimately. My difficulty that I have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines
On a
right
living
now.
within parameters, right?
Yes, that's what I say. Legitimating. How could you cannot explain to me how one family could turn around and basically showing off on St. Vincent and the Grenadines how big, powerful financially that they are. Unbelievable. What's the salary of a prime minister? Probably what? Tell me, get all the allowances, maybe $200,000 a year. A minister, maybe 150,000, with all the perks and everything and so forth. But you turn around. You have designed the way when the airport was built. So Storm becomes the handler, his company, whatever company he forms, as the airport handler. The wife of the prime minister owns the major restaurant. And we have seen signs of all the other things that point into richness. And not richness relative to St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a small nation. Unfortunately, we say people are rich based on the economic structure of the country where they come from. We know we are living in a global village and people can do a lot of other things. But we're speaking about a richness that is in comparison to very rich people in major countries. That is frightening. When you look that the rest of the nation is basically struggling to keep its head above water. I watch people say, well, oh, look at how much motorcar in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I say, that's what you're measuring it by? That's the only place that the financial institutions can lend money and make money on. Because government bonds have gone through the cracks where people have been taking haircuts with government bonds. And the banks are not buying up the government bonds. They're still selling treasury bills, of which are costing us tonloads of money. I believe we have spent about $7 billion over the last 25 years in treasury bills and probably paid about a good $300 million in interest already. And so we dig in hole to fill another hole. We are in serious trouble. And no one wants to speak about the issue that the NIS became under pressure. And so the contributors to NIS had to now turn around and have to put extra monies to keep it somehow prolonged from collapsing. And we're not addressing that. But so you want to end up now, and then we're going to end up be paying more VAT just now. God help me, and I pray that NDP gets into office. And I'm not speaking about NDP specific, say as just a political party, but we cannot continue with a government that is so dictatorial and so myopic, also so pig-headed that they are not concerned that what they are going to leave behind is truly worse than a hook, is a rusty hook in the gill that is going to be infectious. You will have to have a lot of antibiotics and antiviral and anti everything, financially speaking, and socially and morally speaking, about what has been happening to our country. But because some people don't care about these things, they don't care. They don't care. That's my position.
I don't know. My position is that I wonder if we can be so blinded, if we could be so blinded by the food that we eat that we kill ourselves to save our lives. You know, it's no, to me, nuclear submarine in Caribbean waters is nothing to smile. It's nothing to smile about. And if we putting it on ourselves by being accepting with accepting with all with all the blind eyes that we want to hold, then we are re-enslaving ourselves. We are re-enslaving
No, Carl,
ourselves.
when you say we,
Carl,
the
don't.
government
Mhm.
is the one who is creating this problem. I'll show you why. And I'll say this again like a broken record. There is no productive sector in St. Vincent. The learned helplessness that we have found ourselves is this, that we have been disoriented from work, from productive sector work, to be independent, not dependent on government for a job by having our own capacity to produce and to sell. The government destroyed the marketing corporation, the St. Vincent Marketing Corporation. They destroyed agriculture. Yet we are talking, you see why cocaine and all these things are enticement to those who want to go to all the all inclusive, who all want to go to all the entertainment that is around, to want to buy a motor car that is coming in the country and as an enticement for a nice living and so forth and whatnot. It's natural that a human being wants to have certain amenities, but how do you pay for these amenities when you do not have the people meaningfully employed from an independent perspective of a productive sector? Without a productive sector, this government, this government finds it in a capacity to finance a tourism sector, in the hotelier sector of hundreds of millions of dollars. Yet they can't find a good $100 million to put into agriculture in a meaningful way. Have not. They have done nothing. So you still don't have an agricultural sector. Agriculture employs directly around 10, 11,000 persons. When you use the triple domino effect, you're talking about 30,000 people who earns money out of a productive sector. And people had to wear two hats. People were civil servants and they have family farms and the family farm the farm and they employed other people along with them. And so you had all these overlapping of earnings that were able to keep families afloat, pay for their education, pay for their housing. So that's why the government, knowing what they have done with failure to maintain a productive sector, has gone into low income housing as an enticement to say we belong to the people, but you build a house and you give somebody a low income house or a no income house, but that person has to eat, that person have to send the children to school. So we become now a socialist state, a creeping socialist communistic state where now dependency syndrome is so vast that even those
So you
who
get a
had
house and the plate turned
subsistence
down.
allowance and subsistence earning don't have that anymore. And we can't see it, because all we have see is the facade. And that's what they want to celebrate. So we'd always become the beggar maid. We'd always have to be recolonialized by those who will give us the handouts so that we could be part of their agenda. And watch it, Africa also still have to be careful. Whilst I support I support African unity, is that you'll move from one superpower to the other and get ill treated the same way. It's something
Probably
to
was.
watch.
I got somebody on the line. Stick up in Nice Radio. Good afternoon. You're live. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. You're live. Person's gone. Yes. Gentlemen, you know, I remember when going back to the Caribbean again with drugs, when the U.S. went into Jamaica and picked up Mr. Dudas, that they met with opposition from the community, with persons in the community. And I saw something else where in one of those Spanish-speaking countries where, you know, they were opposed. They were opposed to the authorities coming and shutting down their drug dealer, because that drug dealer was supporting the community. That drug dealer made sure nobody in the community went hungry. That drug dealer would build schools and what's that. You know, so it's almost like we could be setting ourselves up in a society where, you know, anything goes. Where anything goes, all you find it, and you don't know why. Somebody's on the line. Nice Radio. This person keep calling and hanging up. Yeah. We look. We talked to Patsy this morning with regards to the former British Virgin Islands Premier Andrew Arturo Fahey. You know, she knew him personally. There's a man of God. She know him personally.
But I wanted to inject when she's talking about this man of God thing,
Yeah.
because that is the facade behind which many of the leaders are hiding as well. We have this big thing on the internet with all the women touching out the hands and to somebody who said once upon a time how they had the stigmata of God where they touch something and the blood run down the finger.
All
And
right,
to vote.
stick up in. Let me try and grab
So
this
those are
caller.
the things
Nice
where we're
Radio. Thanks for
exploiting
calling.
our people.
Yeah, but
Yes.
like,
So that's what I
okay,
talk about
no,
how
if
emancipated.
if Jam come down to shove, if Jam come to shove, and our Prime Minister says we need to stand along with Venezuela, are we going to just jump on that because he has no credibility?
Who going to stand? We ain't gonna arm
Now,
service
we
to
in
begin
St.
with.
Vincent and the Grenadines need to stand. We need to stand with they're going to send your cadets and your SSU down there.
My cadets. Yeah. No, we don't have a standing military, and we don't have any legislature which would allow us to deploy people under those circumstances. But the other thing is, don't forget that nuclear subs trawl the region all the time. The fact that they've gone to stay off Venezuela is a different story, but it's not a novel thing. Nuclear
Yeah,
subs
boy,
pass through water all the time.
my great uncle was in World War II. My grandmother used to make jokes that he ain't went to the war. He went to watch war, but he went to war and he gave me war story. He would have given me war story.
Yeah, but it's true. But remember that guy who used to be in the cabinet many years ago said that during the war he used to take a boat and go out in the harbor to see if any submarine outside there. They used to take on these paddling boats and to go to say they're doing duties in the harbor in St. Vincent to see if they have any submarines in Kingston Harbor. There might have been many. I doubt if you would have seen that with a paddling boat. So.
I don't know. But to me, you know, with the way things are, I'm getting back to that same supermarket analogy where somebody turned to me and said, "Carl, wait, you didn't, you know who you're talking to? Like, I'm not supposed to talk to him like that. I was not supposed to talk to him like that, being of who he is. I supposed to come, just not allow him to come into the supermarket, you know, cracking a lighter." You know, it's the same. Is it the same thing we doing with Maduro? Like I tell you, no, there is a bit of a strange culture in some Instagram. You know, there were decent people who were approaching me when I just came back to America, come back from America here. I must take a trip, and I'd be good to take a trip right now. You know, and you know, you're wondering why. So is all that can be used to justify to enslave us, to complete the Trump agenda, to complete the Trump world agenda.
But Carlisle, we're
Mhm.
speaking about a lot of other things, but
Yeah.
we have some deep concerns, and I know Alwyn is here. Look at the state of our healthcare system, and you can't say anything against the government. Look at this article there with the Cuban doctor who's been asked to go back to Cuba, a
Yeah.
specialist for speaking to the degrading
To say that the clinic
situation
full of molds.
of a
So
physical plant.
it's almost like he should have learned from the previous doctor that complained about the mole and
Yeah.
that got transferred. You know, that's a message that we're sending.
But
That's how
I
we
don't
treat
like to
teaching
talk
the
my
children.
chest.
Huh?
When they built that clinic, I went into that clinic, and one of the things with that clinic, it just has no ventilation at the back. We in a very hot country. That is the whole point about it. It was poorly built, and this is in the days of NDP time where people used to. And those observations you make, you say, how are you building a clinic here that's supposed to be well ventilated, well open? There's no ventilation for that clinic, so the fact that it has mold and getting mold is not a
It's not.
surprise to me.
All right.
You
Okay,
know?
we got somebody on the line. Nice radio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brother Carlisle.
Hey, good afternoon, Study. How you doing?
How are you?
No, I'm good.
And all my gentlemen friendly.
Hmm.
I listen all morning. Now I was listening to Mr. Bigabit this morning about his land where they just take away from him. But you know something? What happened to Bishop John? You remember what happened to Bishop John?
No,
When he see a member in the Unity Labour Party, they give him a job. And decide he have to pay certain amount, give them back a certain money. That big job. You remember he come on the air and said he give them half of the money. And because they didn't give them the other half, we have them. He have to move his thing from down Hill where his business set up. You have to clear up all the thing off his land. And over 70 workers go out of bread. Bishop John Suffer, someone, Mati, he big business here. They call it stone, personal, those kind of thing, and big truck. You couldn't even find place to put them. I come remember just a couple parliaments ago there. When Mr. Bramble, Fish Bramble, demand from who in parliament now.
Study, could you excuse me one?
Plan.
Ask me say so if you could hold a minute.
Hold a second, Study. Dougie wants to say something.
I just want to let you all know that I have to go and deal with some issues. But I want to let you know that Grey Batiste, I was told, is in the hospital and not doing so well. You went this morning, I heard, and so I want to send out my sympathies to the families. I hope that he recover or whatever is the problem. I don't know. But he's a friend. He's a friend and a contributor to Nice Radio, and we have to keep that in mind. And and again, Stody,
Football and
I think
pan.
Stody is raising a great point in the issue with Bishop John and all that. Tell him that
Dougie said
he's
you're
raising
raising
a
a
great
good
point.
point. He made an announcement about Grey Batiste being in hospital, but then he continued saying that you're making a great point with regards to Bishop John. Yeah.
But Mr. Bramble asked Montgomery Bramble a question just a couple parliament ago about the same place where they take from Bishop John down there. Remember, they put in a mass camp, the mass camp down there. So, Mr. Babang, what the position with the mass camp down there? You know, someone coming down there say in Parliament, they're going to put the mass camp down there. They're going to put the mass camp in South Winwood. That all the mass ban and them could do. You could imagine you're going to left from Sierra Hill to carry mass ban out of South Winwood. Where the airport, when all them truck with all them big mass ban coming out, people coming town. And you have plane and passenger to come in. You see, you go see, you want to traffic jam? How that ever happen? You going to move mass camp from down a Sahel to come a south Winwood. You might get about 4.6 man out there. So when Canada come and you have to bring in all the band, probably go park them up in town. You see, kind of stupid thing people just have wonder go. I could remember as a young man, I look at Bishop John, when we rode from hospital, go right down to the last part and Hollywood, was in pure dirt. Bishop John was the man who built that road from hospital come right down. When he reached in Layu, and he done pass from Layu Hill go to Happy Hill. His water, local, mass in Layu, with the post Mississippi Road. We jump up, we go out, was how we so glad that we get Pit Road. And he's about to the road go right down, I could remember he's about to pay them back a corner. You bustle them, you have to take 20 lakhs before they come on there. And when the road is pit, you have to take about 1 or 2 lakhs to come on. And he demand to the road right down. And you know which first thing he do? Them big bowlers. We put them the down first, press them the down, and then they put half in stone on them. And they put and press that down on oil. And they put in the greater point stone and press that down, and then you put the dust in bandar. And those roads were built so strong. Just a year before them could have that thing. Even when them are doing gnarly what they have to come in down under the NDP, they encounter some of them same material the Bishop John and his company put down on the road. So the Bishop John got his grave a grieving man because he lose all his business and all his workers got go home without a cent. 70 yards. He said he had 70 yard workers working with him. He come on the radio and scar the person name who tell them the police got money. I ain't calling nobody name, but everybody know who. So it's not my
You
friend.
know what you mean?
Big up this alone. It is get this a whole lot of people.
Alright.
Look at some Marcus the Peters. 2 cents. Like the Moya, them people land with a truck will. Then again a compensation up to now. So this government is taking with people and they're paying them the right money and paying them none at all. Once you pay for the airport, then they pay for the land where they take for the airport. And Vincent can't open there and see. I am a poor old man here. And no man could have bribed me to vote for them to give me money. Put a couple dollars in my mouth, pull up my mouth, and put me in a sack. Eh?
Alright.
That what them a do, then young man, then people now do. You get $500, they pull up them all, a boy half, that the rum, and a pack of cigarettes. And you go to drink a yard, the party and nice. But again, you put them hand together, when they done, you the $5 coming, you ain't gonna go get nothing. These friends and all the land friends, poor people, black people with land, I got hold those land, don't give it their way. Our poor parents are gonna lick some blows and come and own piece of land. They never sell none. They left it to grandchildren after grandchildren. Do not sell your land because if you don't have the land, you have nothing.
All right,
And
Scotty.
gone.
All right, thanks.
Thank you all for listening.
Thanks. Take care.
Boy,
it would seem
it's funny that story could have so much intellect at his age because he has a daughter who is on social media who works with the Kingston Tongue Board, who is like a viper and very rude and very officious in the way she wants to speak to people and address people.
Nice radio. Good afternoon.
You know.
Good afternoon, my friend.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing?
I did, man. I did. I would like to ask the Prime Minister he must pay the burial money right down to December, please.
All right. Thank you.
He's a regular call about the burial money. Carl, quickly though, just let me talk about hazards. Yeah, this is not what I was going to talk about. I was actually going to talk about abdominal pain, but I don't think we have the time to talk about abdominal pain.
You have
just quick.
You have like about 7 minutes of material at least. You have at least 7 minutes material. I'm looking to see if I can read this beverage here. Yeah, 5 to 7 minutes worth of material.
Oh, I have more than that.
All right, yeah, well, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's basically to remind people what a hazard is. Yes, a hazard is any practice that exposes you to anything that may injure you and cause harm during employment. So there are physical hazards: noise, vibration, radiation, extreme temperature, slips, trips, falls; chemical hazards, exposure to cleaning agents, toxic fumes, pesticides; biological hazards, viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites; ergonomic hazards, so poor posture, things that make you have to bend up and twist up on you on the job, doing the same movement every day, heavy lifting as you will get in healthcare, nurses and doctors living patients and animal living patients, etc. And you have the psychosocial hazards, which Ord was alluded to earlier on: stress, bullying, which we get from our government, and we have long working hours. Now, I wanted to really focus on the farmers because I think they're the ones. Farmers are the backbone of every country, right? If farmers don't produce food, we can't eat, and if we can't eat, we can't do lots of the other things that we do. And it's just to remind farmers that some of the things they may get from plants, they have a big word for this called phytognoses, right? So there's something called sporotrichosis, which you can get from rose gardening. A lot of women on this island love the rose and the garden, etc., but they probably don't use gloves. You get a little prick from a rose, and then you find your finger start having all sorts of things coming up in it, and you can lose that, right? Farmer's lungs or pneumonia, which you can get from something called aspergillus. Anything that is dirty and dusty, right? Moldy hay, right? We don't really have hay in St. Vincent per se, but that could cause you to get something called aspergillus. Orgotism, rye and cereals. Again, we don't have cereals in our country, but again, that could give you something. And orgotism is basically a poisoning like you get when you take Botox, basically, that can paralyze your muscles, etc. Aflatoxin. We had a good peanut industry, and one of the things when you have peanuts stored is that they grow this fungus, right, which is called aspergillus, and you can get that quite easy from just the fact that you have the peanuts them stored in a barn or in a crocus bag. Rain wet them, they get damp, and then after that you go and you inhale this thing, and you get aspergillosis, which will be on your lung and very difficult to treat, and probably will succumb to that. Right, then they have fusariosis, is contact with fusarium species. This is the soil. So really, actually want to emphasize, we know we like to use the soil, and some people use the bare hands, is that we have to start to use gloves Use gloves, have on boots or shoes when you're in the field, right? There's another condition called histoplasma, which you can get again something that thrives in the soil, and that come from birds. So the birds fly overhead and they mess on the ground. You come the next day, you take your hand, you just say, "Oh, it's soil. Let me turn it over." And next thing you know, you're very sick, and you end up in hospital. Cats carry a disease called toxicara. We love like to have we cats. The cats we don't clean up mess in the Caribbean. The cat mess there we leave it right there. The dog mess there in this country you have to clean up your cat poo and your dog poo. Whereas in the Caribbean, we just let things wash away, etc. But those are things we should be taking care of because they have certain disease that they carry within them that we really should need to be getting rid of. And of course, you could be allergic to plants. Sometimes plants produce sap and these things, you're rubbing them, your skin get damaged. Some of the things like hogweed that you know of, poison ivy, which you know of in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and some plants themselves produce what they call mycotoxicosis, which is illnesses from toxins produced by plants associated with fungus. So the zombie toadstools and stuff that we see that we think might be innocent, some are edible, some are not, and some are very poisonous and toxic. Then you have to be very careful about that. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is just because I spoke last week about people dying from leptospirosis. So I spoke about the plant associated disease. Now we're going to the animal associated disease. So leptospirosis, rat feces and rat effluent, tularemia, not very common in our place. Plague, right? Plague is something that almost wiped out all of Europe, the bubonic plague, and it's caused by a thing called Yersinia pestis. I just remember that from like 30 years ago when we had a microbiologist teaching us and the way he used to express it. But rats, in particular, the very black rats carry that. No, there is a thing in Britain where they're counting rats that are big as dogs because the rats are literally having a field where they're feasting and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Where the cats are afraid of the rats, and even the small dogs are afraid of rats. And pestilence control for this is very important. Q fever we don't have in the Caribbean. There's something called Lyme disease that you can get from ticks. Again, not very common in Caribbean, but in these countries. But you could get ticks in the Caribbean. We see them on dogs, etc. And so forth. Some people just take them off, ping them with their hands, etc. And you can get really bad encephalitis, that's infection on the brain because of ticks. We also have hantavirus and anthrax, which is deadly. Anthrax kills. And in fact, anthrax is a biohazard that governments all over the world had to come together to say you can't keep this around, and it is actually held under strict condition. It's there where I think sometime they thought that the Russians had released anthrax into the environment, kill out people. And brucellosis. They used to have this practice say, "Oh, you have a sore on your foot, get the dog to lick it." Dogs carry a very bad disease. And don't ever get your dog to lick any sore on your body or your children's body. That is the most dangerous thing. You could end up seriously in hospital, you can die, and you become paralyzed because of it. So I warn people that they should not do that sort of thing. Now, fish, we love fishing in the Caribbean, but we also have diseases that we can get from fish. The most common is the barracuda, ciguatera. We have to catch a barracuda at a certain age. If you catch them over age, you have poisons in them that could kill you. And some fish also carry parasites and worms that we eat, and then we could also get those worms from the fish. So we have to be very mindful. And then there's bacteria that you could also get from having fish tanks in your house. Yes, a special bacteria that grow only in fish tanks. So you have to be careful that you have to clean your fish tanks all the time. Now, just a quick clinical update on chickenpox, because chickenpox is making a big comeback. And this is what every Saturday I like to talk something current. So this is current, basically. In the United Kingdom, they're now embarking on a vaccination program. I know when you mentioned vaccine, a lot of people put an F close to it, a big F, but vaccine has made more good than it has made ills. And the chickenpox is making a comeback, and they're trying to vaccinate children so they get up to 85% coverage. It wouldn't surprise you to know that places like in London that the coverage for vaccination from chickenpox is only about 69%. So it's not only in St. Vincent that we have vaccine hesitancy, there's hesitancy all over this world. In order to protect the population from any disease, you need a 95% coverage. Now, I know that all the children in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they have to have the vaccination before they go back to school, or they're not allowed back to school, etc. But recently, there is becoming an association between having chicken pox when you're young. And if you're diabetic, sometimes you develop this thing called shingles, where you have a painful thing that may come up from the back. It follows the course of the nerves on your body, right? What we call in medicine the dermatome. And shingles is very, very painful, which is a recurrence of chickenpox. We used to say once you get vaccinated against chickenpox, you could only have it once, you can't get it twice. That's not true. You could get chickenpox a second time. But the most thing there is there's not direct evidence to prove it, but there seems to be a link between chickenpox and dementia. What they believe is that the chickenpox cause the growth of a compound in the brain called amyloid. Now, this amyloid I know very well because my brother died from an amyloid-associated disease, and we didn't quite know what the origin is. And this amyloid is a useless protein that just builds up between the brain cells, etc., and so forth. And there's also something called tau, T-A-U, tau. So tau is something that it's fibrillary things because the neurons in your brain, the things that connect up your brains, rather than them connecting up directly, they come like a cobweb. And so because of that, you may lose your mentation. So they're saying that if you get vaccinated against chickenpox as a child, and even as an adult now, for those of us who's not vaccinated, that you may in fact be stemming the fact that you may develop dementia early in life or even later on in life, and that it may be worthwhile for you to do that. Don't forget that if you have chicken pox, it can run away and become super infected. You get an infection on top of your chicken pox and you get bacterial infection. The bacteria can kill you, but then you can get chicken pox in your brain, which is called an encephalitis, and you could get it in your eye, which may cause you to go blind. So chicken pox, as much as we see it, it's not an innocent disease, and it's something that we ought to think of before we embark on anything else. Like I said, I wanted to talk about abdominal pain, and that's because I think it's that sent me an exclusive about somebody who went to hospital in 22 with tummy pain and came back, etc. and so forth. The only thing I want to say about that just now, because I don't think you have time for me to deal with that, or the several cause of abdominal pain, is that our hospitals need to have a system, right? If I, as a physician, see a patient when I was a young doctor in the hospital and I sent them home and they came back, I would never send a patient back at home again, right? I would get that patient admitted, right? And let them get reviewed by a senior doctor. And I don't know if there's a system in place which says that if somebody represents the hospital, that person should not be discharged home without being reviewed by your most senior doctor, whether it's your most senior obstetrician, your most senior surgeon, your most senior pediatrician. That is the way to go to avoid those sort of things, because it is believed that that person died from appendicitis, and appendicitis could present very, very silently to some people, etc., and so forth. And I will come back hopefully next week. And I wanted to deal with female sports and this transgender thing and the whole athletics thing. And I was hoping Odd would be on, but we'll deal with it another time. But there are some red flags about abdominal pain, right? Be mindful if you get abdominal pain. And I'll repeat myself when we get to speak about this, right? If the pain comes on quite sudden, be very careful about it. If you can't stand up and you start feeling weak, etc., it means that you probably might be going into shock. You need to do something about it right away. You have persistent vomiting, you need to do something about it right away. If you're vomiting up blood, go to your hospital or your doctor right away, right? If your stools, when you go to the toilet and people don't look at their stools, look at the stool. If it's black, that is blood that is being broken down in your body and coming out the back passage, you need to see a doctor. If it's bright red, you also need to see a doctor because it means it's active bleeding. You probably have hemorrhoids or something else. You need to see it. And if you have unexplained weight loss or history of what you call aortic aneurysm. Now, aneurysms, I was just sent a thing from the NHS to go and get an ultrasound of my abdomen to see whether or not I have an aneurysm, because basically aneurysms are becoming so popular now because we're living much longer. We have very poor diet, and the high cholesterol causing the big vessel that comes from the heart called the aorta that goes all the way down to your pelvis and then branches off to develop what is called an aneurysm. It develops like a bulb, like a tire having a bloat. But this bloat is happening very slowly, and then eventually it cracks. And when it cracks, you're going to bleed, and you're going to bleed to death. If you get to a hospital, they can open up your tummy and they could do a patch. I don't know if they can do it in St. Vincent. I've not been there for a long while, but they can patch it back. But that takes 6 to 8 hours for them just to be able to do that, because they have to clamp off one end and clamp off the other end, put your system on a bypass so that your other organs, your brain and so forth, and your heart still gets blood. Otherwise, you'll end up with a stroke and so forth, and they'll patch that for you. But it is very common in the United Kingdom. Sometimes when we are in another unit and we have to go to theater, we'll say, boy, your theater is going to be delayed. We have a triple A coming in. And when a triple A comes in, it's a life and death situation. They will trump everything. Because even though we live in Britain at night, they own in all the hospitals I've worked at, there's only one emergency theater that runs all night. It's called a CPOD theater, right? And you have to put your patient on the CPOD list in order to get them seen. So that is something that people, if you have high cholesterol, etc., so but you could go and pay and ask for an abdominal X-ray just to have a look and see whether your aorta is intact and whether it's expanding. But the other alternative is for the government to introduce a program where they offer people AAA ultrasounds. So I see you're back, and we'll talk about abdominal, like I said, abdominal pains in the future, if you remind me. I have so many topics that we always are going to talk about them, but they line up. We'll talk about them eventually.
All right. At this time of the program, we invite audience participation. Any questions for Dr. Leacock, or if there are any unexplained any ailments that you might be feeling, we offer this as a service where you can be diagnosed on air. Of course, you not to look at this as your final diagnosis. We offer this as a service, but still advise you to visit to consult your physician. So
And I
we
hope my
open the
people
lines.
from last week who had the lisinopril actually got a change and they're doing better, because that, I think that is definitely probably what's causing the problem that you're talking about.
Okay.
How can you easily diagnose appendicitis, Alvin?
Appendicitis is a very subtle disease, and it's probably easier to be diagnosed in men than it is in women, right? Because the side on which you have your appendix, if you're a man and you come in with that kind of pain, there's only one thing you're going to suspect on that side. Whereas for a woman, it could also be the ovaries that's giving problems. Now, the ovaries might give problems for several reasons. One is they might just be ovulating and have an ovulatory pain. This is quite a sudden pain that will go on and then go away after that. The second thing is that you will have what you call bleeding to an ovarian cyst. So the cyst is supposed to produce egg and release the egg and then collapse. It doesn't do that. It seals itself off, and because it bleeds into itself and it just stretches the ovary, so the ovary becomes quite large. Anytime you stretch anything in the body, you get pain. So that could be the other reason. The other thing is that the ovary, when they get large, it twists on themselves, which is called a torsion. So in women, it's much more difficult. And some people have got silent appendix. They have the pain, it just grumbles and it goes away. And like I said, you don't always have to have an operation for appendix disease. Sometimes it just settles on antibiotics. But that has to be a clinical judgment by whoever sees you. If your doctor sees you and think you present normally, it will put you off food. I remember when my appendix went and so forth, which was Sunday the 12th of October 1979, because we went on a Cadet Corps picnic and had loads of food there, and I had loved my food, and no matter what people offered me, I just could not eat. I just wasn't hungry. It's called anorexia. I just I ain't hungry. I ate for that whole. I came home 6 o'clock. Went to the hospital. We didn't have a doctor then, a surgeon then, and my older brother took me to Cyrus, and I had my appendix out the next day, right? But the thing about that is that I had suspected because my older brother Garnet, he had his appendix out. My sister Patsy, she had her appendix out as well. And many years later, my older brother Sinclair, he had his appendix out. Remember, appendix is familial. Appendicitis is familial. If one child had it, expect that the other children would have it. If mommy and daddy had it all, you expect that the children will probably have it. So those are the things you need to, when you go to your doctor, say, well, I had my appendix out, etc. and so forth. I also remember Dr. Cyrus telling us a story about the family in Beckway, where all the children presented with a bad appendix and they were around age 6. They're wrong age 6, and you always give it as a story. So it's a familiar thing, and just to keep that in mind, right? If they do certain tests, they will see like your white cell count will go up. You won't be eat. You have pain on that side, etc. and so forth. These days we use ultrasound, and the ultrasound, and you could use CT scan as well, but the ultrasound is probably available, and it will show what you call fat stranding. Fat strand is basically the fat around the appendix becomes so fat and it watery and juicy that when you look at it in ultrasound, you see like a strand of fat around it. And that's just inflammation that's causing that and so forth. But I challenge people, right? Because we have people who make a decision. I don't want an operation yet. I want to wait and hear what the scan is. And especially in women, sometimes when you have an ectopic pregnancy and you're bleeding heavily, waiting to get a scan in order to decide where ectopic could be the difference between your life and your death, because we only have 5 liters of blood. When we start getting symptomatic is when we lose about 1.5 liters, right? Which is about a third. But if you insist and you tip that balance where you have lost so much blood, right? It then begins to affect the other things in the body. We have everything in the body is connected up. So it begins to, your fit, your kidneys start shutting down, your liver will shut down. That has an impact on your heart, etc. and so forth. Your doctor will be fighting a losing battle because you having systemic problems. So listen to your doctors and take your doctor's advice. If the doctor say let us go and operate now, fine. Go and have your operation, etc. and so forth. If they find nothing, that's fine. You know, you might have had an operation for nothing, but 9 out of 10 times or 9.9 out of 10 times, your life will be saved by having that critical decision to have your surgery early.
All right, we don't have anybody calling in. Just another piece I wanted to share. Something in the Vincentian is in the letters section. It's a letter submitted by Marilyn Valentine, LLB, Honors. It reads, Dear Editor, the concept of the Caribbean as a zone of peace, a guiding principle, a core tenet of the Caribbean's collective identity, is now facing a significant test in the standoff between the United States and Venezuela. Let me see who's on the line here. Nice radio, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. You hearing me?
Yeah.
I was trying to give the doctor a time to finish up what he was saying. Is he still
But
there, right?
I just started something and you called in the middle of that.
No, the doctor I was trying to get into. I was trying to ask him a question.
I gave time for that. Yeah.
Oh,
you have a question
okay.
for the doc? Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, doc. Could be circulation in your legs. Tribute to numbness on the bottom of the feet, where it's like cashews like sticking you. Could that be coming from poor circulations and also creating cramps within your legs
Yes,
also?
undoubtedly so.
And
But it, yeah,
right? Okay, go ahead. I'll listen.
yes, but the other thing is that is very, very common with diabetics, because what you're having is all the tiny little vessels being occluded because of the diabetes. Yes. And so you
Because
have ischemia, not enough circulation. And if you don't have enough circulation, your body produces toxin. The toxins cause pain. So sometimes you can't even rest your feet down at night. You have to hold them up, and that probably helps with the circulation, etc. Right?
well, I'm
So
walking. I'm walking very well. But what actually happened? I had a pinched nerve at once, and from since I had that pinched nerve,
mhm,
I went to Grenada. And so but I went on a what do you call it? The scan, and
yeah,
they showed. I brought back what the CV that they gave me. Went to the doctors here, and they just gave me a talk, and I didn't get ready to cure it. It's some painkillers I was taking, but since that pinch nerve, I start getting this kind of feeling in the leg where I'm getting cramps, and I was told that is circulation within the blood. Something needs to be done. One doctor told me I have to get an X-ray from the foot test, like a test to see whether the heart is okay. But I did checks and so forth, my heart is okay, my liver is okay, I'm not a diabetic, and these sort of things. So just feeling this kind of
But that sounds to me like band or neurological things, because your pinched nerve is probably still being pinched. And it comes around the back, it goes between your middle leg, and it goes down down to your big toe, and you could feel that. So I think your pinched nerve is still a problem.
Definitely. So
That's sciatica
is there a
basically.
solution? Is
So
there a
the
solution
problem
to
there
that?
is in the back. It's not in the bottom of the feet. So I probably need to see an orthopedic surgeon, because I don't know what sort of decompression to do these days in terms of having pinched nerves and collapsing. So have you had an X-ray of your back, of your spine?
Okay, so an X-ray can show what is happening there or
Have you
something like
had
that.
an X-ray of your spine? I'm asking.
No,
Yeah.
I did have an X-ray. Did an X-ray, yes, but
Yeah, because that's probably what you need.
I
You
was
need
told that
what we call a
X-rays.
lumbosacral X-ray, actually to show what's happening with the vertebrae in the back of your spine, and that I think that to me
What's
that seems very neurologically oriented rather than anything else.
okay? What's the name of that?
What name of
Well, I
what?
didn't get the name of the X-ray you said. I didn't get the name of the X-ray you said.
Lumbo just mean back, lower back, and the sacrum is when you sit down on your sacrum basically. Yes.
Right.
So you have lumbar, you have 5 sacral vertebrae and 5 lumbar, I think, which would make it 10. But
Okay,
sometimes
but
you
it
have
can,
what is called a slip
but
disc. The
it could
disc
be treated.
between each, huh? Yeah, it could be treated. It could be treated. Sometimes they do what's called a discectomy. I don't know what modern therapy they have, whether or not they might put things and try to inflate the disc, because between each of your what you call you have several stacks of bones sitting on one another. They call your vertebrae, and between them is a little cushion pad. Yes, that cushion pad, is like when you're driving a car, the shock absorber. So if the shock absorber gets smashed, it protrudes out, and when it protrudes out, that's when it put pressure on the nerves like that and give you that sort of a
Right.
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when I sit down for a while, I'm definitely feeling that. I'm feeling that
Yeah.
pain down in there when I'm sitting.
So that's
All right.
something
Thank you
like
very
something
much for your
silent.
time, Doc. And
All right.
thank you
Okay. I'll send
for your
it bill
advice.
later.
Somebody said that man talking and I have similar burning. Tell him castor oil. Put it in the navel and rub the bottom feet.
Amen.
Castor oil in the brown bottle. Next one says, my mom suffers from what the doctor claim is trigeminal
Trigeminal neuralgia. Yes.
And she takes GABAPETIN,
Gabapentin.
Yeah, for it. Can Dr. Leacock shed some light on this? She's in pain and she's diabetic and hypertensive.
So that's facial, because the trigeminal nerve supplies the nerves to your face, basically. You could basically split it into 3. It has 5 branches, but the top branch goes up and supplies your forehead. The middle branch supplies around your face and the nose on this side, and the lower branch supplies your chin and your cheek and goes down into your neck. So it's the trigeminal nerve. So it's a facial thing. So again, with diabetes, is because the diabetes probably is not well controlled, and you have the vessels that supply these nerves. They're tiny, tiny vessels, and they get what we call occluded, and so forth. And so the nerve doesn't get enough blood supply, and you have that pain. Gabapentin is one of the drugs they use. There's another drug, probably fentanyl, fentanyl patches, but basically that's something that's going to be for you until the Lord say no more. Right? You get some relief when you get done, and it's basically balancing your pain with the medication they give you, the side effects on that medication, and your quality of living.
All right. Somebody's trying to come in on the phone. Nice radio. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Dugan. How are you, sir?
Not the very best, but holding on.
Yes.
Doc and Carlisle boy, Doc, this is one proud black man lying on my back head and listening to this great doctor. Well trained. What a great man, boy. Doc, are you in St. Vincent now?
No, but I'm not great. I'm just somebody who try.
Good Lord, man, I'm so proud of you. I knew your father.
Don't make your brother get vexed now in the car.
Well, you know, he's a general surgeon. But boy, oh boy, I'm so proud as a black man, that we produce people like your good self. And I mean, just last week I was saying how wrong did your brother Sinclair was in terms of politics. Brilliant, man. Brilliant. Anyway, my problem, I don't want to say too much again, but in the stiffness of the feet. At 86, I know things can happen. You get old, and other things happening. But since I took the vaccine, the 2 feet just got stiff. I suffered from rheumatoid arthritis in the past.
Yeah.
In fact, I had to retire from my law practice some 12 years ago. But 2 feet are just stiff, and I could hardly stand sometimes.
Yeah.
When you come into St. Vincent again, I really would want to consult you. But my number is calling today.
Yes.
So people intentions, man, and all black people. When we can produce people like yourself, we are on the right track. And your father, where he is, must be in the right place.
My specialty, Mr. Duggan, is actually obstetrics and gynecology. Yes?
Hello?
I'm saying my specialty is actually...
other than Sinclair, but your father must...
We've met.
I have to repeat myself. And I hope hundreds and hundreds of intentions are listening to you week after week. No question, man. No question. You're well trained. You were trained up in England, in the Caribbean, in America, where, if I may ask?
So, well, that's what I was just going to explain to you. My specialty is obstetrics and gynecology. The things that I talk about here now, and I keep saying to people, I'll never trade it, is the basic bread and butter medicine that I learned in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I came back and I worked on for 10 years. It wasn't 10 good years, but it was bread and butter, basic, fundamental medicine. We didn't have all the big adjuncts that they had in the large countries, and as such, you had to go and read about things. You had to think about alternative ways of solving things, etc., and so forth. And the inspiration for that came, I always say that is from Dr. Cyrus. I remember him giving one great lecture about make and do, how he had to be the isolated surgeon. I think that was the lecture, the isolated surgeon, and how in surgery had to make and do things. A lot of things that we had to make and do in the Kingston General Hospital at the time. So I will credit, and I'll never give that towards Kingston General Hospital and just basic, fundamental, grassroots, bread and butter medicine. So that's why I can talk about it and so forth. And it has come in very handy now because I go to the doctors of these days are trained very differently. I go to work and have a young doctor, and he comes and he said to me, Mrs. So-and-so is coming with X, Y, and Z. And I say, oh, they've got X disease. And he said, but how do you know that? We haven't done the test yet. I say, yes, but I've listened to your history. And if you take a good history, 9 out of 10 times you'll tell what's happening with the patient. They'll go off and order the test and they'll come back 10 minutes after and tell me, oh, yes, they do have X, Y, and Z. So, right? That's where that comes from. Your legs, there are a lot of what we call post-COVID symptom because of the COVID vaccine. A lot of it is being revealed these days. Up front, I have always been a pro-vaccine person, and I will always be a pro-vaccine person, to be honest. But I think those are one of the side effects that you might have had from the vaccine, bringing what you have. Now, add to that the fact that you're getting older, the fact that you have blood vessels, they're only meant to last a certain amount of days. After that, they'll start packing up and not work, etc. That is probably what's giving you that problem. But it might have been, especially the stiffness that you may be getting, right? I could, and I do like reading and researching a lot of medical things and tracking them down, like if it's a detective sort of work, because to me it's fun. Sorry, so I'll try and look into it and come back to you with what I think might be the solution to that, or even speak to colleagues at work.
So the answer to the question is that most of your training was right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
My basic medicine, my obstetrical training and gynecology training was expanded in the UK. But when I came to the UK, there's certain things I could do already that they didn't have to teach me in the United Kingdom. So like they never taught me to do a cesarean section in the United Kingdom, because when I got there, I'd already done over 1,000.
Okay.
Well done, Doc. Well done, Doc. I continue to be one of your fans. Do keep up the good work, and congrats to you and your family.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. Take care. Take care. And take care of your feet. Yep. Wow, boy. I guess we can start wrapping up now. Present time in Grenadines is 1:32. Valentine, you there?
Yeah, I just wanted to wrap up by reminding people that when we had that soap powder issue in the Grenadines, a gentleman lost his life. So that means a family has lost a loved one, and there still has not been any closure because those persons who are present, those eyewitnesses or those participants, were sent back to their home country under the premise that they would return to give testimony. And to this date, as I said before, there has been no closure in that case. And that's rather unfortunate. And I don't think we can get closure now. But I was wondering if there are other issues like this where we cannot have closure. Like, for example, we know that Michelle Andrews never had closure. She had accused the Prime Minister of raping her, and she never had her day in court. CJ is still awaiting. He's dead. His mother is dead. And so his sister is still awaiting some coroner's inquest, some type of indication to let her know, to get closure, because she wants to know what killed her brother, what caused her brother's death. Mr. John still have these 3 ghosts, one of them that would have shot him, and he is still awaiting some kind of closure. He went to court, and somehow or the other, he was not able to testify in court who the shooters were, who the shooter is. And that is so unfortunate. I mean, could you believe that? I am an eyewitness and I can't get a chance to testify in court as to what I saw. That's unfortunate. So we are hoping that we can get somewhere. And I suspect there are others. There are many others who are still looking for some kind of closure, especially with regards to police investigation. And I often would say that police should not investigate police. We should always have an independent arm to investigate when police are involved, so that at least we can have some measure of transparency. So, please, those of us who can help, let us try to see if we can rally some support to help these victims who would like to add some kind of closure before they expire.
All right, Dr. Leacock.
Yeah, so I just wanted, like I said, to remind people that every job you do has a hazard and has a risk, and that we shouldn't take things for granted. But the more important thing, especially when it comes to occupational health and occupational hazard, is that for people who work within whether it's an institution, whether it's in farming, etc., and so forth, you have, to start making proposals to say these things need to be looked at. In farming, if you have government farmers, people work in the government, and you provide overalls to them to spray gramoxone, that they shouldn't have one overall, they should have several. They should have shower facilities where they work in, where they could shower, etc., and that they have good instructions on how to do things. Because, at the end of the day, it all comes back to the state. People are going to get ill, they're going to end up being non-productive, they end up in hospital, you have to high hospital bills and support bills, etc. But if we look at them and we do put preventative things in place or therapeutic things in place, then a lot of that could probably be avoided and so forth. A healthy country is a productive country, is a forward-looking country.
All right. And yeah, well,
Well,
once
we
again,
missed Truth Seeker to then Doug Howard. For some reason, they probably get caught up.
Doug was here, but I don't know. He was driving. I don't know if he had internet issues or whatever, and he dropped out. And Doug, he says that he has, his little dot, his big dot is putting him on the manners. So, he's not here. He's not here also. And it's funny with regards to with what Patsy would have, commented about knowing the Prime Minister, the Premier of the Virgin Islands, and thinking that he was of good character, but yet, he was, I think it's 135 months was sentenced. I think it's in August of last year. I don't have the story in front of me. I'm just working it from memory. And in as much as we might be blinded to matters that can be hurting, that can hurt us, and put us in the category of a drug enabling society, and and like I remember there was one thing in Calico that at the time in the news you were hearing a lot of persons getting arrested for trying to take cocaine in a strong or liquid cocaine in a strong rum bottle. See a strong rum bottle going through Barbados, and it's liquid cocaine. And one of the persons who got arrested for that, it was somebody who I used to buy fish and chips from. She was cooking fish and chips, and I knew her personally, and it shocked me, but so we are, and I would hope that this matter gets resolved with regards to the drug situation. And if we have a drug situation here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it must not be dudasly tolerated. It must not be dudasly tolerated to the point where it could be affecting us all. The song Pushing It, gonna feature that while I line up my commercials to go home.
The whole Caribbean is in a mess. Open drugs have us in distress. It is the entire region's cry. Too much youth with their heads high. And it's not easy to get rid of it. Some feel the ghettos control the market. But I like to warn you, looking too far. The pushers that be drinking with leaders inside the bars.
And don't forget, today's program was sponsored by the Beauty Shop, located in Lower Middle Street, opposite Third World. We do everything about here. You name it, we do it. Fixing of locks, interlocking of locks, knotless braids, hair maintenance, healthy locks, children braiding, dry curl, jerry curl, textured, men and women hair, relaxer, and so much more. We carry makeup, body care, body cream, hair products, necklace, and earrings. Bringing the inner beauty on the outside. The Beauty Shop, 529-8065. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Express Data Systems. Express Data Systems, located Lower Kingston Park, next to Miss Ferdy's shop. Miss Ferdy of blessed memory. In the vicinity of the Guides Hut. Express Data Systems, check them out for the HP i5 computers. 4 gigs of RAM and a 500 gigabyte hard drive for $495. Also, a HP DeskJet Advantage 2875 for $395. For further information, 456-1128. Opening hours Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Flick Pest Control. Remember, one flick and they're gone. 457-1857. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale, with deliveries Wednesdays and Saturdays on the Leeward side, and Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Windward side. Check them out for mattresses, for pillows, for foam for your Morris chair. Check them out for Coca-Cola, for Pierre Drax, for Solo, for Mountain Dew, for Three Horses Malt, for Sprite, for Ginseng Up, for potatoes and onions. Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale, 456-2814. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Jamar General. Jamar General says, are you building or renovating? Then you should consider your PVC windows available at Jamar General Services. Built, tried, and tested for a tropical climate. You should also check out Jamar General for your PVC pipe and your PVC pipe accessories. Check them out also for your building and electrical needs. For further information, 457-2725. Don't forget, with proof of purchase of matching quality products, we will match your price and give you a further 5% off. Best price is guaranteed. Jamar General, 457-2725. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of CNR Enterprises. CNR Enterprises located second floor of the CNR building, opposite the old customs building in Kingstown. 532-9372 is the number to call. Check them out for stationery and office supplies. Check them out for speaker parts and accessories. Check them out for your General Mills cereals, your cornflakes, your almond cereal, your Inshore. Check them out for your silk, for your almond milk. Check them out for your Kirkland napkins. Check them out for Kirkland products. CNR Enterprises, 532-9372. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Nice International Logistics. Shipping, packaging, and moving. Nice International Logistics. Telephone number 347-500-9142. 617-594-2283. Or right here in SBG 784-455-5600. Nice International Logistics. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here in CTVIEW Saturday Show. Tell them, Carla says thank you. And of course, to advertise on CTVIEW Saturday Show, the number to call is 491-9140. Because it's when you do well, we look good. When you do well, we feel good. Godfrey Dublin, young but not forgotten. Yeah, they're pushing it. yeah.
They're pushing it. 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 They're pushing it.
When all is said and done, Jennifer Shiverton's Wholesale remains the one to be reckoned with. It's the place for the best in mattresses in all sizes, upholstery foam for your cushions and seats in all sizes, all types of pillows, toilet tissue, a long range of soft drinks including Futa, Buster, Orchard, canned and bottled Coca-Cola and Sprite, and Trini Fresh Orange Juice, plus the best. The very best sawfish on the market, all priced to meet your pocket. It's located opposite Greenfinger at Upper Middle Street in Kingstown and opens Mondays to Saturdays, 7:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. It's the place where quality matters and the price on your side. Jennifer Shiverton's Wholesale. Call 456-2814. That's 456-2814.
Welcome to Subway, where you can always have it your way. My name is Stacy. What can I make for you?
Hey, Stacy. I'll have a chicken teriyaki salad. All veggies, please. And for my daughter, Naomi, a pizza. Naomi, what would you like to have on your pizza?
Pepperoni bacon.
They've got tomatoes as well.
Pepperoni bacon.
What about some fresh onions, corn, pineapple?
Pepperoni bacon.
Naomi, you can also have olives, jalapeno, extra meat.
Nope. Pepperoni bacon.
Stacy, can I have one chicken teriyaki salad, all veggies, please, and a pizza with pepperoni and bacon?
You can have it your way.
Come into our uptown or downtown location today or order on your favorite delivery app. Subway. Have it your way.
We would like to say that Captain Bligh XO aged rum is the best rum in the world. And now we can. Voted the world's best rum at the World Rum Awards 2014, Captain Bligh XO aged rum. World class. in a glass.
I passed by a brethren the other day. If you see he plays, rat and cockroach racing, mosquito fighting one another for come knee in your ears, and the amount of woodlice I see, I had to wonder if them been in the wood with no attack and Billy Ark. I said, bye, Carl Flick.
For the eradication of pests, Flick is your answer. Before and after construction of your domestic and commercial buildings, Flick uses environmentally safe chemicals and keep washrooms fresh with the Aroma Odor Control and the FemCare Sanitary Disposal Systems. Call Flick Pest Control today at 457-1857 or click www.flickpestcontrol.com.
Since 2012, we have provided reliable, professional dialysis services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are now proud to offer you new solutions for your health problems. Each new solution is being delivered to you with the same high degree of care and professionalism. We also use the best technology in the delivery of our services. So, does your doctor need a precise view of what's happening inside your body? Let us perform an ultrasound for you. Ladies, if it's your breasts, then choose our mammography service. For all issues related to men and women's health at any stage in your life, our team can perform the necessary investigations to put your mind at ease and recommend solutions for your problems. If it's to see within your chest or check for broken bones and fractures, then use our state-of-the-art U-Arm X-ray service. For you aging men and women, we can now check your bone density, which will reduce any complications that may arise with overall bone health, osteoporosis, or arthritis. Health Solutions will provide answers and results in a timely, accurate manner in the most comfortable environment, while you are taken care of by well-trained and experienced staff. Please call us today at 451-2836 or 434-3170, or visit us online at healthsolutionsSVG.com. You can also follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Health Solutions, where we are providing solutions in SVG with care.
Sound Blast Entertainment exclusive rentals. We have LED bars, LED chairs, LED tables, trussing, speakers, and stage available. Bring your event to life with exclusive party rentals. For more information, contact 1-784-493-1361. 1-784-493-1361.
Boys and girls, man and woman, in this world of confusion, with music fever, hey, 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 in the area, they party mad, they party hard. You lash a bucket, Come along and join this party. This soca song can make you happy. Flaunt your movements with grand excitement. Party wild, oh yeah, in freedom style. Only love can match this feeling. Only love is so appealing. A revelation of good sensation. Catch this boat, it's good for what it's worth. This jumbie beat can drive you crazy. This jumbie beat is not so easy. It's music power, yeah, yeah. Mystic power. It makes you twist like foolishness. Some boom boom thing, some boom boom fat. When boom boom rolling, who care about what? It's party time, have a happy time. Just fall in line, relax and free your mind. Swing the thing, swing the thing. Roll it, roll it. If you come out to party, you got to party happy. Don't let the music waste. The dancing space. If you come out to watch me, well, watch me. Life is a one-way street.